Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Okay, y'all can hear now. Wah wah. Okay. There's a button on my. This is how y'all know I'm not a industry plant. There's a button on my. What's this thing called? There's like an interface. It's the Scarlet. Y'all know the Scarlet. There's a button on there, and well, there's a few buttons. They have to be on. Oh man. Okay. I still think this is a side note. I was about to make a joke about how I majored in the wrong thing, but I actually don't. I think I majored in exactly the right thing. Millennials, we were lied to. It was like the stupidest thing you could major in. As a millennial, people would say, just whatever you do, don't major in English. What can you do with an English degree? And I did. I sure did. I majored in English. At first, I was majoring in finance. I actually did very well in that, and I hated it. So then I switched to, I think, marketing for a semester. And then I was just like, I just can't do it. I needed to be in the humanities. So I went over there. Philosophy was another one, anything art. But now that I really look back on it, that was the best thing that for what's to come. I'm not going to make fun of nothing. I'm not going to even criticize nothing because what we were told is IT is the way to go. I didn't ruin the intro to my thing. This video ain't getting no views now. Anyway, but they said that IT was the way to go, computers, medical, whatever. And now they got robots doing all that. So I'm kind of glad I got an English degree at this point. I mean, who knew? I'm kind of glad because it's like I learned logic. I took logic instead of math. They let you do that, but that was awesome. I took symbolic logic. I learned argument structure. I learned sentence structure and language. I went to grad school for linguistics, and that was my minor too, and my concentration at LSU. I went to LSU, go Tigers. But now I'm like, wait, I'm one of the few equipped people to handle what we got coming next. Going into this apocalypse, I've read Plato, I've read Marx, I've read, all of the Hermann Hesse and Robert Frost and Shakespeare. I made the best grade on the first exam in the Shakespeare class. Set the curve. I made 107. I've read Shakespeare and what was the other Gawain in the Green Knight and the Beowulf. I read all of that. I've Aristotle, the Cave, the World of Forms, Rhetoric, Republic. Oh my God, I'm prepared. I could read any ancient text pretty much. I'm learning Sanskrit. Thank you so much, whoever it was, the higher self that put me through the English degree. English majors are about to get the last laugh, y'all. We're about to get the last laugh. Anyway, so today was going to be a free-for-all. Today was going to be a free-for-all, and it kind of made me somewhat still is, but that was before I got into this Anna Kepner story. Are y'all from? Put a 1 in the chat. This is right around the time somebody told me I was muted in the first. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard of this Anna Kepner story. She's the little girl that went missing from the cruise ship, and then they found her on the cruise ship, and it was her stepbrother who was arrested. And y'all saw he had court yesterday. The stepbrother had court yesterday, and they let him out. It's a federal case. Anyway, so I did it again. I don't have my water. Anyway, so today I thought we could talk about that case, and I have some links. I got some of the court documents. I don't think I've covered this case at all on this channel yet before. At all. Speaking of which, I just need to close that. Okay. So today I want to talk about that a little bit. There's a David school memory book. Apparently we're going to look at some David little things. Quinn Emmanuel, the law firm, is in trouble. I did talk about this a little bit on yesterday's live show, but I wanted to read the article to y'all. Or maybe I did read the article. Let me see. Okay, maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we won't. And then, then we'll get to the Anna Kepner. Story. And I have some links, like I said, court docs, etc. Okay. So I found this. I'm going to have to put my headphones on for this one. My God, hold on. Move my copper pitcher. Okay. Test, test. Okay. So this says, oh no, I'm not going to play the game. Want to know why? I did all that for nothing. Want to know why? I need a better wire. Want to know why I'm not going to play the audio? Because it's going to get copyright struck. I'm going to take my video down. Nobody's going to be able to watch it. In the back of my mind. Y'all just imagine that. Okay. Here, add to stage. This thing's crackling. It's bothering me. Ugh. Okay. So it says David's classmate from elementary school or from elementary shows school memory book. So I turned the volume off. Okay. That thing's crackling. Okay. So we don't need that anyway. I'm going to play it now. Okay. Let's see. I haven't even looked at this. Okay. This is the school memory book. Dedrick Brown. Oh, there he is. There he is right there. David Burr. Oh, wait, no, that's him. His face was covered. That's David. Oh, man. 3 years at Copeland. Oh, man, she got the blur on it. Activities, soccer, gymnastics. David did gymnastics. When I grow up, I would like to be a robotics engineer. He did not want to be an English major. Should have majored in English, David. The something my life are my parents because they teach me. This is sad. Because they teach me to try my best. When I leave Copeland, I will miss my best friends, Ori and someone. To having a locker. Oh, he looks forward to having a locker in the 6th grade. This is crazy. There was a time in little David's life when he just looked forward to having a locker. Man. My most something Copeland was field day because it was awesome and fun. I would something for helping me learn new things every day. Oh, man. Is that him? Wow. Oh, man, that was... That's David. Look at the pelican. Go Pelicans. Wow, that's worth a rewatch. 2016, that's what David looked like in 2016. He must have been about 10. Oh, and to put God first. Wow. Wow. The most influential people in his life were his parents because they teach him to try his best and to put God first. Wow. There he is right there. I guess that's him, but they have the face covered and it goes by quick. So where is he? I don't know. I mean, that doesn't really look like David to me. He was a junior librarian, but that don't look like him. Is that him? That don't look like him to me. Wow. Well, that's that. Texas? Oh, is this Texas or New York City? Sarah Lynn said Texas because the girl has on a Texas hoodie. Huh. Let's see. Texas hoodie. Good observation. Where's the Texas hoodie? I don't see one there. I don't see any Texas hoodie. Okay, this does say something country. This is something. Oh yeah, there it is. Texas A&M. This is probably Texas. This is probably Texas. So he was already in Texas on Sharon's Captains. How old? Okay, he must have been in 5th grade. Because in his, okay, so he must have been in 5th grade in 2016 in Texas. So that means, okay. So that means David moved from New York to Texas by the time he was in 5th grade. So it was before the 6th grade. Because he was looking forward to 6th grade because he was looking forward to getting a locker, right? On his little bio. Wow. Now, in other David news, I wanted to let y'all know. Apparently, somebody got in trouble recently for betting on inappropriate stuff on Polymarket, like a betting thing, like a platform that lets you bet on stuff. So he got in trouble, right? Google information security engineer. David wanted to be a robotics engineer. Google information security engineer charged with using Polymarket to make money off bets. David was one of the bets. A Google employee fraudulently made more than $1 million by using inside information to place Polymarket bets on what users were searching for on Google. According to a federal criminal complaint unsealed Wednesday, I think that's yesterday, this Google employee correctly bet using an account under the name Alpha Raccoon that Google's most searched person in 2025 would be the singer known as David, according to the complaint. So he bet that the number one search was going to be David. And it was. Person, the number one search person. At the time this Google employee placed the bet, the prediction market, Polymarket, assigned a near zero probability to David being the number one searched person. So he made a lot of money off that, I guess. Let's see if we can go to the actual article here. Yeah, Google Information Security Office. Okay, let's see. Google employee fraudulently made more than $1 million by using inside information to place Polymarket bets on what users were searching for on Google. So he wanted to make bets about what people were searching for, like based on search terms. Michelle Spagnuolo thought these were sure bets because a Google information security engineer, he had access to company data that tracked user searches, according to the complaint. And this Spagnuolo person, oh, it's a man, Michelle Spagnuolo misquote, this is from the complaint, quote, misappropriated confidential and valuable non-public information from its employer and used that information to place a series of Google-related bets. So insider information kind of thing. On Polymarket, 36 years old, charged with commodities fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. Unlike the counterparties to his trades, this man knew the outcomes of the wagers before the trading public did because he had accessed Google's confidential, commercially valuable internal data. So he used his information and his ability to get access to the information as a way to make bets on certain things. Like, okay, I know what's going to be the most searched Google thing because I already know I already see the trends in the back end. So I'm going to bet on it. And now he's in trouble. He correctly bet using an account under the name Alpha Raccoon that Google's most searched person in 2025 was going to be the singer known as David. This is according to the prosecutors, the complaint. At the time he placed the bet, the prediction market, Polymarket, had given almost a 0% probability that David would actually be the most searched person. So he made a bet that looked risky, but it wasn't really risky because he knew.
Why no glasses?
They make my head look weird.
Vision.
Ad started playing. At the time he placed the bet, the prediction market Poly Market assigned a near zero probability to David being the number one searched person on Google this year. So it was almost a 0% chance he was going to be the most searched, unless you had the back end data, then you know for sure. After Google publicly announced its year-end search 2025 results in December, the Alpha Raccoon account profited $1.2 million on the Google year-end search 2025 related bets. Once he won, he then took deliberate steps to conceal his, quote, unlawful use of non-public information by attempting to obscure the source and ownership of his unlawful proceeds. Oh, I guess that's him right there, Spagnuolo. He does have a sinister smile. Look how he's baring his fangs. Anybody smiles like this? Something wrong with him. Oh, he's an Italian citizen, was arrested Wednesday morning in New York, where he appeared briefly before a federal magistrate judge. He did not enter a plea. He was released. Oh, he was released on a $2.25 million bond secured by $1 million in cash, $50,000 of which needs to be posted Wednesday. A Google spokesperson responding to the charges against Spagnuolo. So Google spokesperson has commented and said, quote, we're working with law enforcement on their investigation. The employee accessed our marketing material using a tool available to all employees, but using such confidential information to place bets is a serious breach of our policies. The spokesperson for Google went on, quote, we've placed the employee on leave and will take appropriate action. This is the second case involving Poly Market that the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has brought this year. A U.S. Special Forces soldier, Gannon Van Dyke, pleaded not guilty last month to making fraudulent bets on Poly Market about the raid that ousted Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela. Van Dyke was positioned to know about the raid because he helped to plan it and he took part in it, according to prosecutors. But he pleaded not guilty, so, whatever. Anyways, so this guy right here, he was betting on the David being the number one searched name. Okay, so Michelle can be a guy, so that's him. Okay, cool. I mean, not cool. That's, I guess you're not allowed to do that. Don't do that. That, boo. Okay, so that was that. All right, what else do I have here? I guess we can just start talking about the Anna Kepner thing, and I'm kind of just ready to talk about that. Hold on a second. Okay. It kind of seems like an insider trading type of thing, but I don't actually okay, so here's the thing about the term insider trading has a specific legal definition. So I don't know if it has to be, I don't know. That's the short answer. I don't know for sure if it is insider trading. Also, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, as y'all know. Oh, I do have my water. Oh my God. Thank God. I was not used to this picture. Forgot I had the picture. Got a little ding. I don't know if y'all could hear the ding. Okay. He's not in government. It's a he. Okay, so I have some other topics that I want to. Y'all don't know about drinking water out of a copper vessel? You got to get you a copper vessel, and you have to leave the water in there for 8 hours, really, and then you drink the copper water. And I won't make any medical claims, but the cool people are doing that. Don't overdo it though, because you can overdo it. Okay, just a little glass here, there. It's the cool people are doing it. Okay, yeah, y'all did hear that ding. Okay, that's funny. All right, so I have some, like I said, I had some other topics to talk about, but I'm just kind of ready to get into the Anna Kepner thing. But maybe I will break it up, do an intermission, and show y'all some other stuff. There was a hate comment, but I'm just not. I'm vibing too high to deal with the hate comment right now. But I wanted to do a full hate comment analysis, but we'll get into the Anna Kepner first, and then maybe I'll circle back around to hate comment. Maybe we'll do that another day. I don't know yet. It just depends on what the vibe is. Okay. Okay, Anna Kepner. So, as I mentioned earlier, I don't think I've covered this case on this channel. If I did, it would have been like an article one time or something. I really don't remember ever covering this on this or any channel. And so I don't really know too much about this case. I heard probably the basics. I would say that, there was a little girl, underage, but teenager who was reported missing on a ship. Very shortly afterward, they found her. It was very early on that they suspected that it could be her body, I'll say. And her body was found. This is what I knew before today, right? Like her body was found in her room, basically, that her parents had rented for her to stay in. I had heard that the family had 2 or maybe 3 different rooms on the cruise ship, and it was like not the whole family wasn't all staying together. And she was staying in a room with her half brother and her step brother. So one kid in the room with her, they had the same parents, or one of the same parents, and then one other kid in the room with her, and they grew up together. The half brother like grew up together with Anna as his sister. But this other person who would end up in this room somehow was the step brother. And it wasn't like, okay, step brother, but we grew up together. He had like just kind of entered into the picture. Okay. So this is all the things that I kind of had heard. Now, I don't know if any of this is true or not. I'm just telling y'all like where I kind of started with my understanding of this case, because I don't really know all the facts of this case yet. So this is where I started. And then we will look into some real documents that were filed and some news that kind of broke yesterday. Things had previously been sealed and now had gone unsealed, and et cetera, et cetera. So, the story. So they find this girl, and pretty early on, her stepbrother is suspected. And then I had heard that thing about the stepbrother, like maybe he was obsessed with her or something. And he was eventually, I don't know the exact word, if it's charged or indicted or whatever, but like, I guess we'll say charged in this case. It's in federal court. So we'll see if there's actually an indictment, but he was the suspect. He was arrested. And first he was charged as a minor, but then I guess somehow they were able to make it to where because he's 16 too. So now he's being charged as an adult. So anyway, so that's kind of like what I came into this morning's coverage with the understanding of. Now, don't take any of that as facts, because maybe all of it's wrong, but we'll find out together. So we'll start. We'll start with this article. All right. The title is Ruptured Eardrums, Hidden Body. Graphic details emerge about Anna Kepner's unaliving on a cruise ship. Stepbrother charged with R word, unaliving. Okay, so R word and unaliving. Oh boy. All right. So this is happening in Miami. The source for this article I'm reading is clickorlando.com. Anna Kepner was violently R word. Okay. Whoa. That's a way to start an article. Violently R word by her younger stepbrother on a cruise ship last fall, before she was likely placed in a chokehold and squeezed so hard that her eardrums burst. Okay, this is the first time I'm hearing about that. This was according to an assistant U.S. attorney in court yesterday in Miami. Anna Kepner, 18 years old. Okay, so she was 18. See, I told y'all not to take nothing I just said as a fact. So he's 16. He was 16 when it happened. She was 18. She was found unalived on the Carnival Horizon in November, one day before the cruise ship returned to Miami. A federal grand jury recently indicted Anna's 16-year-old stepbrother, Timothy Hudson. Okay, so that's his name, Timothy Hudson. on homicide and aggravated abuse charges. He has pleaded not guilty. Now that he's being prosecuted as an adult, government lawyers asked a magistrate judge to order he be detained until his trial. He's been living with an uncle in Hernando County under GPS monitoring since he was first charged with juvenile delinquency in February. Hoping to convince the magistrate that Hudson is a danger to others and should be detained, Assistant U.S. Attorney Alejandra Lopez detailed some of the government's evidence. Oh boy. I don't know what we're about to read, y'all. By the way, I did not proofread. But I have a bad feeling about it because the last time there was a like, oh, we're just going to tell you some of the evidence. It was the David case, and girl, oh, it was bad. So the Assistant U.S. Attorney Alejandra Lopez detailed some of the government's evidence against the 16-year-old alleged killer during the hearing yesterday. According to the prosecutor, surveillance cameras on the cruise ship confirmed Timothy Hudson and his stepsister, Anna Kepner, entered the stateroom they shared a little after 7:30 p.m. on the night before housekeepers found her body, Anna's body, hidden under a bed. Prosecutors believe Anna Kepner was still alive around 8:14 p.m. when she reportedly communicated with someone on Snapchat. Okay, so she Snapchatted somebody or did something with somebody on Snapchat communicating at 8:14 p.m. So between 7:30 and 8:14, she's still alive. Surveillance cameras showed Timothy, the stepbrother, poke his head out of the stateroom. He pokes his head out the door about 10:13 p.m., looks both ways down the hallway, and then leaves the room. Anna Kepner never emerged from the room. Wi-Fi routers located throughout the ship indicated Timothy Hudson took Anna's phone out of the room, carried it to another deck where he likely disposed of it in an area where a trash can is located. So he takes her phone out the room and throws it away somewhere else on the ship. The phone was later recovered from a trash collection bin by a cruise ship employee, according to Lopez. Okay, so that's some of the intro to what we're talking about here. So I saw an article called Unsealed Transcript Reveals Timeline from the local Fox News. So that we could take a look at that as I'm just kind of learning about this case. Should we watch the video of the guy? It's 3 minutes 22. Let's watch it, right? I don't know. Let's see if y'all can hear it. Let me know if you can hear. Oh no, not an ad. Well, anyway, can y'all hear it while the ad plays? Gotta sit through an ad so I can watch this coverage. Oh, okay, here we go.
Being wrongly accused.
Wait. Okay, hold on.
And a teen accused of raping and killing his stepsister walks free.
Timothy, is there anything you want to get out there? Are you being wrongly accused?
Investigators laying out their case, saying he should wait behind bars for his trial.
Wow, that's him. Oh man, he looks like Joffrey from the Game of Thrones.
Why a judge let him walk out of the courtroom.
That's Joffrey's cousin. Hold on.
The hoodie and
My brother Tufstino does this where he has a thought that someone looks like someone and he's like, hold on, y'all gotta see. How do you spell it? Joffrey? Baratheon? Is that him? Oh my God, look. This is Thomas. This is him. Joffrey. Y'all remember him? Oh man. I did not like. Ew. That's him. to me in my mind.
The hat are off for the first
Oh,
time. Fox
Lannister.
35 is getting
Excuse
a look
me.
at Timothy Hudson.
Lannister, my
the
bad.
16-year-old is accused of killing his stepsister, Anna Kepner, on a family cruise last year. Even though he's a teenager, Fox 35 is naming and showing the suspect because he's being charged as an adult.
Oh my God, look at him.
Well, Fox 35 had a crew inside that Miami courtroom
Oh, let's
today
hear
when
it.
the judge ruled that Hudson can go home until his trial. Thanks for joining us. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm Garrett
Hey,
Weimer.
Luann.
That's not all,
Hey,
because
Garrett.
explosive new details were also revealed, including a gruesome account of how investigators believe Kepner died. Fox 35's Esther Bauer was in court for it all.
Timothy Hudson is still walking free. The 16-year-old accused of raping and murdering his stepsister, Anna Kepner, while on a family cruise, just left this courthouse walking with his family. What happened in that cabin? Was it hard to hear the details? Timothy, is there anything you want to get out there? Are you being wrongly accused? Silent and stoic, the 16-year-old said nothing, leaving his hearing in Miami.
There's nothing that we can say right now. The case is still pending.
His attorneys also tight-lipped, but their defense kept him out of jail on Wednesday. A judge let him go back home with his family as he waits for trial.
So it is federal. It is federal court. No cameras allowed. No pictures. No video recordings. So we just got the sketches, and then oh my God, look how they did her hand. Oh my Lord, they got it looking like she's about to be on Wicked 3, girl. The house. So did y'all see Cynthia Erivo don't want to talk about Cynthia Erivo does not want to talk about Wicked anymore. She said, I don't want to talk about that no more. Girl, that's the only reason most of these people even know who you are. You better talk about it for the rest of your career. Anyway, back to what I was saying. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I can understand why she would be, sick of talking about it, but let's be serious, girl. Anyway, okay, so here's the drawing from inside the court, and this is, he got out on bail. He got out.
Even though the prosecution argues he's a danger to society and could be a flight risk, he's accused of raping and murdering Anna Kepner, his stepsister, during a family vacation on the Carnival Horizon cruise ship where they were sharing a cabin.
I've never seen a case this egregious where a magistrate is blocking every road that the government is, trying to incarcerate this individual to prevent anyone else from being harmed.
New evidence also unsealed shows new details about Kepner's gruesome
homicide.
homicide.
I see what he means.
Court records say blood.
He means like being harmed by this guy. Like he's gonna harm. Like they're not trying to detain. What is he saying? I don't know. He confused me.
Raping and murdering Anna Kepner, his stepsister, during a family vacation on the Carnival Horizon cruise ship where they were sharing a cabin.
I've never seen a case this egregious where a magistrate is blocking every road that the government is, trying to incarcerate this individual to prevent anyone.
Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so he's saying he's never seen a case where the magistrate, which is not a judge, right? So like the judge-ish thing, magistrate is doing everything in their power to block the government from making their arguments to keep this person in jail. But, I do think at least they were. Oh, I don't think the judge actually decides on whether to let him do that. Never mind. I was about to give the judge benefit of the doubt, but I can't even do that. All right, let's see what else they have to say.
Else from being harmed.
New evidence also unsealed shows new details about Kepner's gruesome homicide. Court records say blood vessels in her ears exploded when she was allegedly strangled to
blood vessels. Okay, that's different than eardrums.
Death, and the DNA found inside Kepner also allegedly belongs to Hudson.
The DNA evidence of shoving her underwear up in her body is just beyond horrible, right?
Why do you say that like that?
Hudson is also allegedly seen on cruise ship surveillance cameras throwing Kepner's phone in a trash can hours after she was allegedly murdered. A new document says Kepner's body hidden in the cabin, covered in blankets and life vests, so well hidden that her 13-year-old brother who slept in the room that same night didn't know her body was just a few feet away.
Her 13-year-old brother slept in the room and she was under the bed.
but a judge let him go before trial because he wants more time and more information from U.S. Marshals about where Hudson could be detained closer to Hernando County and not in South Florida.
What more evidence does this federal magistrate need to say enough's enough, you're going to be incarcerated?
Right now, the case is set for trial in September. And we will let you know when a judge makes his final ruling after seeing what other housing options are available for Hudson. Reporting in Miami, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
Wow. Okay, so they have this whole timeline. I wanted to read it. Okay, the brief. An unsealed federal court transcript details a minute-by-minute timeline from closed circuit television footage linking 16-year-old Timothy Hudson to the R and unalive of his stepsister Anna aboard a Carnival cruise ship. The tracking data and surveillance video captured Hudson entering the cabin where Kepner was last seen alive, hiding her smashed cell phone. Oh man, the tracking data and surveillance video. Yeah, y'all, I mean, you can't get away with nothing on a damn cruise ship. That's like trying to get away with something on Disney World and not being Epstein and his friends. Like, there's cameras everywhere. They probably got cameras in those toilets. I mean, that's a joke. I'm not saying that as a fact. It's a hyperbole. But like, my God. Hiding her smashed cell phone in a deck trash can, walking past the room after her body was found hidden under a bed. So after her body was found, he even still walked past the room. While prosecutors argued for immediate detention, federal judge deferred his final decision. Okay. Temporarily leaving him out on house arrest. So he didn't decide for sure yet. That's good to know. So there's a newly unsealed court transcript, and it provides details leading up to and following the death of this teen. Okay, she was killed by strangulation, found the following morning underneath bed in cabin, hidden by a box of life vests. Anna's stepbrother, Timothy, is charged as an adult with first-degree unalive and aggravated S abuse. A judge allowed Timothy to be in the custody of his family. I think he's with his uncle, despite the argument from prosecution that he should be detained. Okay, he's going to be, the trial is in September? Wow. Okay, they said he pleaded guilty to all charges. I think that's a typo. I think they wrote it wrong. He pleaded not guilty from what I heard. Look at little Joffrey. Look at him. Now, while presenting evidence against Timothy, one of the prosecutors presented a timeline of the events on the boat. Using witness testimony, closed-circuit television footage, she detailed the events starting from November 2nd, the day that the family departed on the cruise ship, on a one-week cruise, from November 2nd to November 7th. So starting November 7th, around 11:24 a.m. So her body was found on the cruise ship around 11:24 a.m. This is when ship staff found Anna's body wrapped in a blanket and stuffed under the bed. Shortly after her body was found, closed-circuit TV footage shows Timothy go by the room, but he made no effort to even look to see what was happening inside his own room. And there were several people inside the cabin. He looks straight ahead while he walks away, according to this transcript. Anna shared a room with Timothy and her 13-year-old brother or half brother, according to the prosecutor. Anna's dad, stepmom, and stepsister had their own room across the hall. In a transcript from February 6th, okay, so he had a detention hearing in February, 3 months ago. This same prosecutor provided a minute-by-minute breakdown of the hours before Anna's death. After visiting Cozumel, the Hudson-Kepner family met for dinner, at which Anna left, saying she didn't feel well, and she complained that she had a stomach ache and her braces were hurting. So here's the timeline. Okay, wow. Okay, here's the timeline. I hadn't seen this timeline. I hadn't seen any of this. So what happened that night of November 6th? At 7:35 p.m., so nighttime, Timothy entered the room. He was not seen leaving the room until nearly 3 hours later. Okay, 7:35, he goes into the room. 7:38, Anna was seen on CCTV entering that cabin. So 3 minutes later, Anna goes in. This is the last time she was seen alive. Okay, wow. So she left from dinner, but Timothy somehow got. I need the timeline to go back earlier, because how did Timothy get to the room? Hold on. Who met for dinner? BJ investigate. Okay. After visiting Cozumel, family met for dinner, but Anna left. So who from the family? Okay, 7:38. So 3 minutes after Timothy goes into the cabin, Anna goes in. This is the last time she was seen alive. She never leaves. She never leaves the room. That was 7:38. She goes in there. 7:51, her 13-year-old brother entered the room, but quickly left. Oh, okay. So he actually, I did hear another thing about him having like testimony about this. So we'll get to that later. But okay, so here we are on the timeline. 7:35 p.m. Timothy goes into the room. 7:38. God, I wish the timeline went earlier. 7:38. So 3 minutes later, Anna goes into the room. So now Anna and Timothy are both in the room. Anna's never seen leaving the room again. So like less than 15 minutes after Anna goes into the room, her little brother, the 13-year-old, tries to come into the room, but then he quickly leaves out. He reported seeing Anna in the room. He saw Anna. Okay, I didn't know he saw that. He reported that. Now, this publication we're reading right now, this local Fox, they have gotten at least one detail wrong, even if it was just a typo. So take with a grain of salt. We'll consult other sources as well. So that was 7:51. The little brother comes in. He quickly leaves. At 10:13 p.m., so like 2.5, 3 hours later, Timothy is seen poking his head out the door, looking both ways down the hallway. And then he walks out of the cabin. 10 minutes later, from 10:23 to 10:49 p.m., Timothy was seen going in and out of the cabin 2 more times. Okay, so okay, all right. So 7:30-ish, they all kind of get back to the room little by minute, and then the one brother gets kicked out. 20 minutes or so later, excuse me. Okay, hold on. 7:30, Tim gets back. 7:30, a few minutes later, Anna gets back. The little brother tries to come in 20 minutes, 10 minutes later, 7:51, but he gets kicked out the room. 2.5 hours after that, at 10:13, Timothy looks down the hallway. He leaves the room. But then 2 more times over the next 30 minutes, would pass. He would leave, but he came back 2 more times in the next 30 minutes. All right. So then starting at 11:21 p.m., Anna's brother, the stepbrother, I think, enters the cabin. And at that time, he did not see Anna. This is according to statements he told the FBI. So when he went in there briefly, 7:51 p.m., remember he got kicked out, or he quickly left. He saw her at 7:51, almost 8 o'clock. But then by 11:21, he went back in the room. He never saw her again after 7:51 p.m. At 11:31, So 11:21, we're doing the minute by minute breakdown. From 11:21 p.m., Anna's little brother entered the cabin for the second time that night. He didn't see Anna. He left the room 2 minutes later. And then at 11:31, Timothy, the alleged killer, he comes into the room. And then like 10, 11, 12 minutes later, he leaves again. Anna's body was found the next morning, about 12 hours later, 11:24 a.m. the next day, like I said, as the ship was returning from Cozumel on international waters. Now, this is interesting because she died on international waters and she was found on international waters. So maritime law is so weird, but it sounds like this is just going to federal court. You probably also sign Carnival Cruise probably makes you sign contracts and stuff. Like if something happens, or you agree for it to be prosecuted in the United States. If I had to guess, I really don't know. Cruise line officials contacted the FBI, who met the ship at the port of Miami on November 8th. Okay, so then they give us some details. Anna's little brother noticed some weird instances, or noted. The 13-year-old little brother told officials he went into the room for short periods after dinner that evening. However, on one occasion at 12:09 in the morning, so like midnight, the night Anna died, Her little brother said that when he decided to return to the room to sleep, Timothy, the alleged killer, put out his arm to stop him from entering the room and yelled that he was changing. The 13-year-old little brother was like, that was weird that all the lights in the cabin were on and he's saying he was changing. The little brother, according to the prosecutor, sat in the hallway. So like that, this must have been corroborated with the security camera footage. He sat out in the hallway until Timothy allowed him to enter the room. So where was Anna's phone? At first, the authorities could not find Anna's phone, her cell phone. Her family mentioned that she never was without the cell phone, so that was weird that she didn't have it. Her phone was later found in the lost and found. Oh. After a Horizon crew, so a ship crew member, found the phone in a trash can. It was seriously damaged, as if it had been smashed. This was described by the prosecutors. At that point, the FBI had begun to investigate how Anna's phone could end up in the trash can if she never left the room after 7:38 p.m. Timothy was seen, because remember the phone had some activity on it at like 8 something. Like there was she went on Snapchat or something. The FBI was investigating how Anna's phone ended up in the trash can if she never left the room after she went in there that night. Timothy was seen on CCTV leaving the room between 9:26 a.m. the day her body was found and returning at 9:48 before leaving again at 9:50 in the morning, holding something in his left hand. Okay, so this is where they think he probably had done something with the cell phone. 9 o'clock and about 2 hours before her body was found. That's what they seem to be implying. He was seen walking toward the aft of the ship, so the back, and reaching into the trash bin around 9:52 a.m. where Anna's phone was later found. So he caught on camera reaching into the trash can. By tracking Anna's phone, the movement matched where Timothy was walking that morning. Oh, good. Timothy was seen smoking on deck 11, 16 years old, and Anna's phone was on deck 11. Oh, man. Phew. Timothy's phone was later obtained. So his phone also was obtained through a search warrant, which didn't show any relationship between him and Anna on the phone. Okay, so then the medical examiner, let's read about the medical examiner determining the cause of death. The medical examiner observed irregularities in Anna's, clothing. Oh no. That indicated a possible assault. According to the court transcript, Anna was fully clothed, wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants, but her underwear was not in a position how you would expect it to be found. Y'all can read it if you want. Additionally, she had tiny pinpoint red spots on her eyes and her face, which were caused by bleeding from small capillaries. Anna had significant bruising on her left ear and bruises on the side and back of her neck. Oh boy. The spots and bruises were indicators that Anna was strangled, most likely from a choke hold. She also had male DNA evidence, forensic evidence inside. If you know what I'm talking about, which determined she was assaulted in that way. Wow, before she died. Wow. The FBI obtained DNA from Timothy and a person she did have relations with while on the cruise. Results from this item had very strong support for the inclusion of Timothy, the stepbrother, as the contributor of the male DNA in the mixture. Oh boy. She had a mixture of two. Oh boy. Anyway, is that it? Is there more? Yeah, I think that's it for that one. Okay. Wow, this case is something else, huh? Well, she was an adult. She was 18. I think you can, stay in a room by yourself when you're 18. Okay, so now I want to click on this one. It says exclusive unsealed court documents. Oh, no, thank you. Go away. Shoo. Exclusive unsealed court documents reveal okay, we're not going to read all the graphic details, but we'll skim through the document of Anna Kepner's unaliving. Feds now seeking to jail him. They already been seeking to jail him. All right, let's see. I got to do reader view. Oh, they won't let me. God dang it. Okay, hold on. What the hell? Okay. The documents filed. Okay, what is it? Timothy, including superseding indictment. Well, where is it? What is this damn thing? Okay, this is just too hard to read. I'm going to pull up the document itself. Okay, let's read the indictment first, and then I want to pull up the superseding indictment. It's only 4 pages, the indictment, the first one. Okay. So this is the indictment. Like I said, this one has been replaced or basically overwritten by a superseding indictment. We'll read in a moment. But since this is my first day on the case, I've never actually read the indictment. I want to do that here and now. It's only 4 pages, like I said. This was filed February 2nd, 2022. And it says the United States, that means the federal prosecutors, a United States attorney, charges that count 1, murder in the first degree, on or about November 6, 2025, within the special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the United States, upon the high seas and out of the jurisdiction of any particular state or district, with Miami-Dade County in the Southern District of Florida. Okay, don't care. Okay. TH, so now we know that is Timothy Hudson, a minor, did knowingly and unlawfully attempt to perpetrate, and murder. That is the willful, deliberate, malicious, and premeditated killing of Anna Kepner with malice aforethought. And number 2, the unlawful killing of Anna during the perpetration of attempt to perpetrate an aggravated S abuse. So not only did he do the murder, but he did it during aggravated S assault or abuse. Count 2, aggravated S abuse, on or about that same date, November 6th, within the special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the United States upon the high seas and out of the jurisdiction of any particular blah, 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 blah. TH, this is Timothy, a minor, did knowingly cause and attempt to cause, to engage or force, basically attempt to cause his stepsister Anna to engage in an sexual act by causing contact between him and her. He did so by use of force. This violated the law. Okay, so two different charges, 1 count each. First one is unalive. Second has to do with forcible relations. Now, that was the first indictment. Let's go to the superseding indictment, which was filed the next month. Okay. Superseding indictment. As you can see, this was filed March 10th, about 2 months ago or so, a little bit more than 2. So on or about November 6th, we already did this on the high seas. What's his name? So murder. So what's the difference? The first one's murder too, right? First degree murder. They changed it from that. Murder in the first degree. So the original statute they charged under, same thing. Okay, a minor. All right, I'm just minimize that one. So they added details, I think. Okay, well, I'm not going to read that either. Okay, so the superseding indictment, it seems like what they actually mostly added was they updated how long they thought the case was going to take, and they added more details. I lingered on it long enough. If y'all just must pause to read, y'all can. What are they going for? Penalty sheet. Okay, let's read these sheets. Okay, this is interesting. So the case number, if y'all are interested, 26-CR-20031. Murder in the first degree. They're going for life in prison. 5 years supervisor, maximum. Okay. Aggravated S abuse, maximum life in prison. So they're going for a life sentence on both of them. She's facing 2 life sentences. Miami. This case they don't need a language interpreter. They're saying the case is going to take about 7 days. About a week. 6 to 10 days category, felony. Judge Beth Bloom. Wait a second. Beth Bloom. Haven't we talked about Judge Beth Bloom? Judge Beth Bloom. What case has... That sounds so familiar. Okay, has the complaint been filed? No. Remember earlier it was like, I don't know if it's a complaint or an indictment or what. Does this matter? No, not this judge, not this judge. Okay, that's interesting. That was the superseding indictment. Let's see if we can get into some of the other documents that came out more recently that have been making their way through the news. I'm going to show y'all where I found them. Here it is. And this actually, sorry, thought y'all could see it. This actually has some documents on here for free. Like the ones where you can see where it says like download PDF, you can download it. So this is information. I wonder what this is. Let's see. Okay, taking its time, girl. This is from February. It's not uploading. Let's see. Minute order, initial appearance and arraignment. Okay, this one showed up. Initial appearance was on February 4th. And now this case was sealed. So that's another thing too, is like a lot of this information kind of just came out, even though it happened a few months ago. AFPD appointed. Yeah, that's another thing too, y'all. He's got a public defender. Government seeks to have him detained pending trial. Pre-trial hearing was granted. Parties agreed to release defendants to the custody of his uncle, Devin Ziske. Court ordered him to be released. He was arraigned. I do believe he's pled not guilty. Bond hearing, 10 a.m., Miami. Okay, so let's go back. Here's the order of release. Okay. So this is the order from the judge that let him be free. This cause is before the court regarding the minor's release status. And pursuant to the requirements of Title 18, it is ordered and granted that Timothy shall be released to the custody of his uncle, Devin Ziske, who resides in Brooksville, Florida, until the date of the pretrial detention hearing in this matter, scheduled for Friday, February 6, 2026. Okay, so this is where the judge had let him out. Okay, let's see if I can go back up to this order of detention. So the judge did have him detained for a little while. Okay, let's go down to the more recent happenings. Judge notice regarding redactions. What's this? Oh yeah, you got to redact certain things. Looking into some of the documents. Speedy trial report. What's this? The defendant, 16 years old, initially charged by information as required under the Juvenile Delinquency Act. He surrendered himself to answer the charges contained in the information on February 3rd. So he turned himself in February 3rd. On this date of his surrender, February 3rd, the magistrate court released the defendant to the custody of his uncle, or it says here a family member, At a subsequent detention hearing, the magistrate court allowed him to remain out of custody with his family. He has remained out of custody. Okay, footnote. The government has filed a motion requesting review or revocation of the release order, which will be heard on May 27th. Okay, so that was yesterday, right? So they're referencing yesterday's hearing in this thing that was filed earlier this month about actually the day that Aunt Heffy got arrested, girl, May 19th. The government, as such, no speedy trial time has elapsed under the Juvenile Detention or Juvenile Delinquency Act after his surrender. Why? Because he voluntarily waived it? Because he hasn't been in custody. The government filed an unopposed motion to transfer this matter to adult status in February, and this court did order the matter transferred to adult prosecution and the record unsealed. Okay, so in February it was unsealed, but once certain statutory requirements were met, that's when they finally unsealed it. Those requirements finally did get met March 10th. And on March 10th, 2026, a federal grand jury in Florida issued a superseding indictment charging him with 1 count of murder in the first degree and 1 count of aggravated assault. About a month later, exactly a month later, in fact, April 10th, 2026, United States Magistrate Judge Edwin Torres ordered this matter's transfer to adult prosecution be finalized, and then he allowed the case to be unsealed. The defendant was arraigned April 22nd. And therefore, as to his speedy trial clock, it started running on that date. That would be April 22nd, because he wasn't in custody. Okay, so on May 13th, upon motion by the defendant, this court continued the trial, waiving his rights. Okay, so they're just kind of arguing about like how many days he has. Sir, you have rights, right? So you have so many days for the government to prosecute you. But if you waive some of that time, or if you're not in custody, there's all these rules. Redaction to the transcript. I want to see the transcript. Okay, let's see. Speaking of transcripts, I might be getting the Aunt Hefe one. The court reporter emailed me back. Why is he free and not in jail is a great question. So the documents that I just pulled up are pretty much the documents that are available. Someone said, sorry, I'm hung up on this. I just can't believe 3 kids would be allowed to room together with no parent or guardian. I kind of could see, not all, I don't think it's ordinary, but like, it's not like I can't see any way. Like, she was apparently 18. So she's not really a kid, although yes, I do understand she's still her parents' kid and stuff like that. But now, if other details were to be brought to light, like she was scared of him or something, of course that would absolutely shift. But I would need more details. That's my point. Yeah, and the room was across the hall. So like that's not that much different than like going on a field trip or whatever. Like parents aren't with kids in those rooms either, and it's like 3 kids to a room sometimes. I do see what you're saying though. Like the stepbrother and the Anna were not, like, they didn't grow up together, and apparently he was obsessed with her or something. Let me see if there's like what else is being said out here about him. And I think I saw something that was like he was obsessed with her. New details revealed. Yeah, see, it says on this iHeart thing, disturbing new details about the death of Anna Kepner, Carnival Cruise. So it's like on the, well, let's just go Anna Kepner. Oh, wow. Here's the federal press release. A 16-year-old has been indicted as an adult this is from April. So it's from last month. 16-year-old has been indicted as an adult federal grand jury, charges of murder, aggravated blank abuse, killing the stepsister. According to court records, he was traveling Carnival Cruise with Anna and other family members November 2nd through 7th. During that time, while the ship was in international waters en route to Miami, he allegedly assaulted her and intentionally unalived her. The Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office later determined the cause of death to be mechanical asphyxiation. Wow. This is a quote from the U.S. Attorney. Our hearts go out to the victim's family during this unimaginable loss. Federal grand jury has returned an indictment charging serious offenses that allegedly occurred aboard the vessel in international waters. We will present the evidence in court and pursue this case with professionalism and care. As in every case, the defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. He was initially charged as a juvenile by information on February 2nd, but the case remains sealed until Judge Beth Bloom. Oh my God, who is this judge? Is Judge Bloom the one from the Milagro case? Someone tell me who is Beth Bloom. Usually got to be 21 to stay in a room. Our hearts go out to the victim's family. All right. He was initially charged as a juvenile. He is now charged with murder in the first degree, aggravated as abuse. If convicted, he faces a maximum penalty of life in prison. These are the people in the case. Investigated FBI Miami is on the case, and the assistant U.S. attorney is Alejandra Lopez. She's the prosecutor. An indictment is merely an allegation. All defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. What else? NBC News made an article about it yesterday. Judge declines to jail teenager accused of unaliving stepsister. Federal judge on Wednesday declined to jail Timothy, accused of doing those things. He's been free since the slaying of Anna in November. At the time, he was arrested and charged as a juvenile, but he was allowed to live with an uncle because of his age. But in April, a federal grand jury indicted him as an adult, introducing the possibility that he could be jailed as he awaits trial. If it were a 20-year-old under the exact circumstances, I probably would have detained, said the judge. Okay, so the judge said it is because of his age that he decided to allow him to be under the care of his uncle. But this is kind of crazy to me because he was supposedly under the care of his parents too, and he unalived somebody according to allegations. So like, can anybody actually control this kid being tried as an adult? The judge said if it were a 20-year-old under the exact circumstances, I probably would have detained. Well, just detain him. The U.S. district judge said the presumption would be we were just not going to take that chance. This is a different animal. Wow. So these 16-year-olds can be out here doing all this stuff, and it's somehow okay to let them out on bail? Because why? I don't make no sense to me. Torres, the judge, took into consideration that detaining this alleged killer in Miami-Dade County, where he was charged, would make it difficult for his family, which lives hundreds of miles away in Hernando County, to visit him. Wait, what? I think it makes every criminal's family a little inconvenience to have to go, or alleged, I should say, to have to go drive to where they are in jail. There's a lot of families of a lot of, convicted criminals who have a very hard time making it to the jail. What does that have to do with anything? The judge said he wanted to know what his options were about potentially detaining Timothy closer to his home before deciding to hold him behind bars. The prosecutor argued that Hudson, this defendant, is a danger to the community and questioned how authorities can trust that he won't act again. She noted that 2 minors live in the house with him where he's residing. Wow, he lives in his uncle's house with 2 kids in there. What is needed to prove danger? A second dead body? Oh. Now, the public defender representing Timothy Hudson is a man by the name of Evan Cool. He argued that his client is not a danger to the public or a flight risk because he has abided by the conditions of his release for several months without any incidents. Yeah, but he hasn't been charged with this stuff and facing it as an adult for the whole time. Lopez shot back that it took months after Anna's death for officials to even charge him because authorities were gathering evidence. How is he going to be a risk of flight if he doesn't even know if he's going to be charged? That's exactly what I'm saying. She said that don't even make no sense. Hudson, the defendant, is only allowed to leave his house with his uncle or aunt, and he will be electronically monitored by authorities. The November cruise vacation included his father. Yeah, okay. So they're like, okay, yeah, he's going to be monitored by his aunt and uncle, but what about his father and his mother who were with him on that cruise? Anna Kepner's father and Timothy Hudson's mother married in 2024. So the very end of 2024. So they haven't even been married 2 years. And when this whole trip happened, I think, they had basically been a family married together for 1 year. Anna's body was found. Y'all know how it was found. Her death was ruled a homicide by mechanical asphyxiation. The girl and her stepbrother were sharing a room, according to Timothy Hudson's dad, the defendant's dad. The teenager was arrested while the ship was in international waters. Now this is an interesting little tidbit. He was arrested while the ship was in international waters on the way to Miami. It says he was hospitalized upon the ship's docking. So when the ship finally landed, poor girl was getting rolled out in a body bag, and he's going to the hospital too. She's going to the medical, like the coroner. He's going to the hospital. And ever since he's been in counseling, according to a lawyer for his mother. On the day his indictment was made public, the victim's father, Timothy Hudson's stepdad, declared that justice needs to be served. Are they still together, the mom and the dad? The stepmom and the stepdad, like the kids' parents? Anna was a high school senior and cheerleader with hopes of cheerleading at the University of Georgia. She was remembered in her obituary for lacking a filter and being bubbly, funny, outgoing, and completely herself. At the time, her family said that in true Anna fashion, the family would like everyone to know there is no GoFundMe for her funeral. She was set to what does that mean? In true Anna fashion, the family would like everyone to know there is no GoFundMe. I don't understand how that was in her fashion. Hudson's trial could begin in September. It does appear to be still scheduled for September. Here's the obituary. She was born in 2007. Wow. How can we possibly capture, golly, this thing long. How can we capture Anna, our Anna Banana Sunshine baby girl, 18 years old. She filled the world with laughter, light, reached everyone around her, pure energy, bubbly, funny, outgoing, completely herself. Never had a filter, and that was part of her charm. Practicing new makeup looks, making TikToks. She and her siblings deeply made sure that you always felt Temple Christian School. Girl, when was she baptized? She was baptized in May 2025. She attended youth at the wow. Interesting. Okay, anyway, Anna Kepner. Oh, her dad spoke out? Can y'all hear it? Is that him? Oh, that's sad. He got the blue butterfly shirt on, girl. Oh, y'all can't hear it? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me adjust some things. Okay. You should be able to hear now. Let's see. Can y'all hear it? I think that's her dad. And he's got the blue butterfly shirt on. She does too. Can y'all hear it now? Still no? Huh. Well, now I don't really know what to do. That's the only way I know how to do it. Okay, well, it really don't actually even matter. This is just a video because it's just them saying, like, this is her dad. He's stepping up to accept her high school diploma. So this is her graduation, or what should have been, or could have been, or would have been her graduation. And here he's just, they're just clapping. Our time with Anna was short, but they left us with many memories we'll forever cherish. And they said we waited for her name to be called. Who is this? Who is it? That she don't look much older than Anna herself. Who is that? Who's she? She looks very young. Yeah, so the dad went up. The dad went up. Can y'all hear this one? This is okay. So even though the cameras aren't allowed in federal court, they've been in family court and they've been testifying. So this one's from 5 months ago. Anna Kepner's stepbrother recalls abusive incident on the stand. Still no, y'all can't hear it. So we won't watch that. Oh my God. Look at my word. Jeez. I'm gonna hold on. I'm looking at the settings here. It's not a sway back, girl. It's a opposite of sway front. How do I do this? Let's see. Automatically adjust. Yeah. Echo cancellation. Okay. I don't know. Oh, here. Let me try this. Okay. I think I got the right thing now. But y'all can't hear it. Let me check. Oh, I know what it might have been. Okay. I'll try one more time. I'll try one more time to share this with y'all. This is what I normally do. So it must just be something's broken, glitching, acting up. Can you hear it or no? I guess this is the little brother. So if you can't hear it, just to let you know, the only thing that's been said is the judge saying, is there any other witnesses? And then they're all just fumbling around. No. So nothing. No, I haven't asked. Still no. I don't know. I'll have to check stuff in the back end then. That's the only thing I know to do here. So we'll just stick to articles then. Teen charged remains free after hearing. Huh. Let me see. Maybe this would work. Oh, it's here. Okay, hold on. I'm changing some settings. Okay, fix that. Okay. Let's try one more time.
his stepsister on a cruise ship will remain in the custody of a family member as he awaits
What about
trial.
now?
16-year-old Timothy Hudson left federal court earlier in Miami after a federal judge decided not to send him to jail. Hudson has pleaded not guilty
Just
to charges
static.
of aggravated sexual abuse and first-degree murder in the death of his 18-year-old stepsister.
Okay, so Mary said, oh, y'all can hear it now? Oh, slay. Okay, cool. So Mary said apparently the stepmom was keeping those 3 kids from their father and Christopher was helping her. The stepmom was keeping the 3 kids from their father, the ones who were in the room. Oh, so but wait, they're still together? That's interesting. I'm surprised they're still together. Now I'm trying to find that YouTube video of the court, the stepbrother. I'm trying to find that video we were just trying to watch because I want to watch it. Let me go to my history. Okay. I know I need a family tree too.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure I wanted to vote.
Yes. So if there's any witnesses, you said, Mr. Molinari, that you have no witnesses here?
No, just Andrew Hudson and then Thompson.
Okay. And there's no other witnesses from you, Ms. Addison?
No, they're outside.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Hudson, please raise your right hand and be sworn in. Swear or affirm that everything you tell the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay. I'm going to need you, sir, to speak loud into the microphone so I can hear you. Okay? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the title of this video is Anna Kepner's stepbrother recalls abusive incident on the stand. So again, this is not in the criminal case against Timothy Hudson. This is in a family, like law family court case, and they are allowed to film in there. So I think it was Law and Crime. Shout out to them for actually getting this footage. I think they took the footage and aired it and published it. So I think this is the 13-year-old brother who was 13 at the time, who, was trying to get in the room. He was out of the room. He was in the room.
Mr. Molinari, you may proceed.
If y'all can't hear it, that makes all of us, because I can't really either, but I'll kind of like repeat stuff. Can you state your name? Also have the captions on. Can you state your name? He said.
Andrew Hudson.
And Andrew, how old?
How old are you? 18. Oh, wait. This must not be the one that was with them. Andrew Hudson cannot be the 13-year-old, right? This is a different brother. I don't know. Maybe he was in the other room. I don't know about this brother. Who's he? Oh, Anna's stepbrother. Girl, we need a family tree. We really do. I'm taking a screenshot. I am going to make a family tree. I am going to make one. So this is Andrew. I'm making a family tree. Not right now.
October 4th this year.
October 4th, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
And Andrew, where do you live?
With my dad.
And where is that?
In Ridge Manor, I believe.
What county is that?
Hernando.
He lives in Hernando with his dad.
About 2 years.
Lived with his dad for 2 years.
Has your father ever denied you access to your mother?
Okay.
No.
So they're in family court, right? Like this is custody. This is, that's where that stuff goes on. And so remember, we're not talking about who killed who this, that. Maybe they do end up talking about it. But okay, so this kid right here, this adult, he's 18, is brothers with the alleged killer. They both have the last name Hudson. Okay, so they're brothers. Now, in this family court dispute, he's testifying for some reason, and he's just said he's never been denied access to his other parent. Has anyone cut off access to your mom?
No.
So, are you currently in school?
Yes.
Let's back up a little bit. There was a time when, obviously, your mother was married to Thomas. You know that?
Yes.
Obviously, you're alive. So that kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever recall a time in which your father verbally, physically abused or assaulted any of your siblings?
So he's asking about a time where has your dad ever verbally assaulted you or any of your siblings, physically abused you or any of your siblings? Has your dad ever done that? That's the question. He said no.
TH or PH?
No, sir.
You ever see a time when he was verbally or physically abusive to your mother or something?
No, sir.
Or your mother?
You
No.
got divorced, correct?
Yes.
And then as a result of the divorce, you had to do, like most normal kids do, you had to do everything. Not everything.
Yes.
And so roughly between
As a result of the divorce, you had to do something. I don't know what he said. The captions didn't even pick it up. But the guys, like the witness, the brother of the alleged killer said, yeah. So, I mean, I can try to hear it again. Let's see.
you had to do, like most normal kids do, you had to do everything.
Like most normal kids, you had to do something.
Yes.
And so roughly between 2022 and let's call it January 2024, did you in fact have regular visitation?
Did you have regular visitation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were your siblings, both PH and TH, were they present for these visitations?
Yes.
Was there ever a time that you witnessed either yourself or your siblings saying they did not want to visit with or spend time with?
I'm waiting for
No,
this
sir.
part about the brother.
Sure.
During the time, no.
Has there ever been any allegations of abuse, physical or otherwise, by your father of yourself or any of the children?
I'm aware of apparently a BB gun. Someone.
Okay, so now the question is, has there ever even been any allegation? Not have you seen it, heard it, known of it, but has there ever even been any allegation of abuse being made against your father? Has anybody ever said he abused them? And he's saying, yeah, I think there was apparently one incident with a BB gun.
Shot with a BB gun, but other than that.
And then, so during that time period, was there ever a time in which either yourself or PH or TH said they did not want to spend time with your mom?
No.
So I want to move a little bit forward to 2024, and you're in high school. Right?
Yes.
And what year are you now?
I'm a senior year, 12th grade.
And when are you going to graduate?
This year.
And how are you doing in school?
I'm doing good.
Going to graduate on time?
Yes, sir.
And do you have any plans for after school?
I plan on going to trade school and possibly get put on an oil rig out there at Gulf.
Oh, man.
Did you actually apply to trade school?
It's a hard job.
I've been looking around to see what trade schools are open to it.
And that's something you want to pursue after high school?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I want to take us back a little bit now to the spring of 2024 time frame. And was there an occasion in which your mother told you that she wanted to move to Titusville with both of your two other siblings?
She said yes.
And what she said?
She said that she was going to move over there with those two and that I could finish out my senior year of high school.
So he apparently is like a little bit older. And so so the mom of the alleged killer is also the mom of this kid. And he was a kid at the time, but he was a senior in high school. And she's like, we're moving to Titusville to go be with the Kepners, Anna Kepner's daddy and Anna Kepner and them. But you can stay wherever they lived at the time. You can stay there so you can finish out your senior year.
Okay.
So your mother specifically told you that you could spend the rest of your time, your high school time, here in Gorianna.
Yes, sir.
Was that important to you?
Yes, sir.
Why was that important to you?
It was my senior year, and I knew everybody over here and all my family's over here, so I would.
He didn't want to go.
Hernando High School.
And those are people that you went to high school with for the entire time there?
My whole life.
So he had gone to the same school with the same people his whole life. He's like, I was a senior. I didn't want to go.
And then, so did there come a time when you told your mother that you did not want to go to Brevard County or to Titusville with her?
I told her that I was thinking about staying over with my dad after I finished high school.
And how did your mother respond to it?
She said that this is what she was afraid of and that this is why she didn't want me staying over here.
So he basically says, I think it's completely reasonable. He's been going to school with the same people since he was all his life. He's almost about to be done with school. You celebrate all together after going on this freaking 16-year journey together, or 15. And then he's like, no, Mom, I think I'm going to stay with Dad. Like, I want to still go to my school. And she's like, see, this is what I was afraid of. And he's like, I don't understand. Like, but you don't have to move to Titusville. You can keep your kids where they are too.
I want to fast forward to an incident on April 22nd, 2024. You remember roughly that day?
Yes.
So what happened on that day?
So they go back in time, April 22nd, 2024.
I was called up to the front office, and I originally didn't know what was going on, so I came up without my stuff. I realized my mom was there to pick me up, so I had to go back to my classroom and grab my stuff. And when I walked out to the car with them, they asked for me to give them my phone, and they powered off my phone.
Oh, no.
Then told me,
wait, this is freaky. What? Hold on. Whoa, hold on. He's like, one day I'm minding my business at school. I get called to the front office. I didn't know why. I walk up to the front office. They're like, oh, your mom's here to check you out. So he's like, okay. So I went back to the room, got my backpack. I went and got in the car. As soon as I get in the car with my mom, she takes my phone, turns it off. What the hell?
grab my stuff. Called up to the front office, and I originally didn't know what was going on, so I came up without my stuff. Realized my mom was there to pick me up, so I had to go back to my classroom and grab my stuff. And when I walked out to the car with them, they asked for me to give them my phone, and they powered off my phone, and then told me
the mom and stepdad. So
grab my stuff.
Anna's dad.
And when I walked out to the car with them, they asked for me to give them my phone, and they powered off my phone.
Wait, why do I keep missing that?
I was called up to the front office, and I originally didn't know what was going on, so I came up without my stuff. Realized my mom was there to pick me up.
Mom
so I had to go
was
back
there.
To the classroom and grab my
Back
stuff.
to classroom, got the stuff.
And when I walked out to the car with them, they asked for
I don't
me
know who's
to
them.
give them my phone, and they powered off my phone, and then told me.
Let me stop there for a second. So the time that you were being called to, was it the principal's office or?
It was to the front office, the main office.
At the time that you were called, did your mother communicate to you at all, hey, the reason why that she was going to school?
No, sir.
Did you have any knowledge or idea that your mother was going to school to get you on that particular day?
No, sir.
I think the dad's lawyer is trying to be like, this was a kidnap.
And then when you get there, were you surprised that you saw your mother?
Yes, sir.
Was Christopher Kepner there as well too?
I don't remember if he was in the office at the time, but he was in the car for sure.
Who?
No, sir.
And then when you get there, were you surprised that you saw your mother?
Yes, sir.
Was Christopher Kepner there?
Christopher
I don't
Kepner,
remember
the
if he was in
dad.
the office at the time,
Anna
but he was
Kepner's
in the
dad.
car for sure.
So his stepdad.
So you, the mother, Chantel, escorted you from the office to Christopher Kepner's vehicle?
Yes. Well, it's our vehicle, but yes.
And then so what happened once you got in the vehicle?
They asked for my phone. They took my phone. I powered it off, and then
So your phone did have a Life 360 or tracking device?
yes.
Does a Life 360 tracking device work if your phone is turned?
Okay, so the lawyer for the dad is like trying to show that the mom was pretty much trying to stop the dad from being able to track, right? Turns this kid's phone off. He was a kid at the time. Turns his phone off so that his dad and her ex, his dad, couldn't track where they were. So basically trying to, I don't know, keep his location from the dad seems to be the allegation.
No, not to my knowledge.
And then so do you have any means to communicate with your father or anyone else about what was going on at that particular moment?
I was going to try to text my dad, but I couldn't because they had my phone. I couldn't communicate with anybody.
Did you want to go with your mother and Christopher Kepner on that day?
No, sir.
Was that against your will?
Yes, sir.
And then so what happened once you were in the vehicle?
He said, did you want to go with your mother and your stepdad that day? He said, no. The lawyer asks, so was that against your will? And this alleged killer's brother said, yeah.
I gave them my phone. They powered it off. They told me where I was going, that I was going to start school over here, which was against everything we've talked about. I told them no, I wasn't. And
wait, sorry, I was reading a comment.
I gave them my phone. They powered it off. They told me where I was going, that I was going to start school over here, which
they said where I'm going. They took my phone, they powered it off, and she told me where I was going to be going to school. And I said, no, I'm not. That's not what we discussed. So now they're trying to force him. According to his testimony, they're trying to force him, or they tried to go to this new school away from the place that he had been his whole life.
was against everything we've talked about. I told him no, I wasn't. And when we tried going to a stop, I tried getting out.
Oh, he tried to escape.
So at any time were you trying to harm yourself or commit suicide?
No, sir.
You were just, what was your intention of trying to get out of the vehicle once they came to a stop?
Trying to get out of the vehicle so they couldn't take me away from everything.
And then what did Christopher Kepner do at that point?
They had held me against the seat, and he put his arm around the back of my neck. Holding me
He put his arm around the back of his neck like a chokehold, kind of like what his son is accused of doing to Anna. Wow. Arm around the neck is very specific.
Trying to get out of the vehicle once they came to stop.
Trying to get out of the vehicle so they couldn't take me away from everything.
And then what did Chris and Gorianna do at that point?
They had held me against the seat, and he put his arm around the back of my neck, holding me up against the front seat. She held me there as well.
Was your mother still in the front seat, or did she go to the back seat?
At that time, she had crawled to the back seat.
She crawled over the
And then
seat.
Christopher Kepner, what exactly did he do with his arm?
He put his arm around my neck, like, pushed me up against the front seat.
So was your head pinned against the front seat?
Yes, sir.
And did you remain conscious the whole time, or did you black out? Or?
I believe I blacked out once.
You mean to tell me the father of this alleged chokehold killer is a chokeholder himself? Kaylee Alicia said, I think they are mad. Oh, true. I mean, look, listen, I could see that being a... Okay, this was only about 1 month after his brother was arrested. This was about 1 month after the unaliving, right? So maybe this guy could have a motive to be making up lies. Because remember, the dad, Anna Kepner's dad said she deserves justice. So they're also apparently not paying for a lawyer for that kid. So, I mean, yeah, the 16-year-old stepbrother. This one right here is the older brother. He's older. Could he be having a conflict of interest and making up lies or something? I mean, I guess. He could be mad at his stepfather. Wow, that's fascinating. Should we watch more of this? More evidence, more testimony? Whoa. Stepmom says Anna Kepner. Brother and stepson were the three amigos. Well, I bet she would say that. Let's go to this one. Anna Kepner's ex-boyfriend.
New bombshell details.
Says stepbrother S harassed her.
About Anna Kepner, the 18-year-old high school cheerleader who was found dead on a cruise ship. It's being reported she died of asphyxiation after an arm was held against her neck. This all comes as we speak with Anna's ex-boyfriend.
This is from 6 months ago, by the way. This is from the same month that she passed away and was found.
Who says loud screams and chairs being thrown were heard inside Anna's cabin before her naked body was found shoved under a bed. Ann Mercogliano has the latest.
Was 18-year-old cheerleader Anna Kepner strangled to death aboard the cruise ship? ABC News reports that Anna died from asphyxiation. She was strangled with a bar hold using an arm across her neck.
Wow.
She was not sexually assaulted, and there were
Okay, that has been updated to be that she was. And he's actually being charged with aggravated assault and facing life in prison over it. So this was 6 months ago. So things evolve.
signs of drugs or alcohol. He would bring you home. Hours before she was found dead on the cruise ship, the sound of a violent confrontation reportedly could be heard inside her stateroom.
Okay, that's a new detail I haven't heard. According to Inside Edition, in November, they said that a violent confrontation could be heard. Well, that wasn't stated in the indictment or the superseding indictment, so I don't know where they're getting that information.
We're told Anna's 14-year-old brother, Connor, says he tried to get into the stateroom that he, Anna, and their 16-year-old stepbrother were sharing, but that it was locked. Anna and the stepbrother were still inside, and Connor reportedly says he could hear disturbing sounds through the door. Anna's ex-boyfriend says he spoke to the cheerleader's brother about what happened that night.
You heard him yelling at her, like, in a harmful way, of, like, shut the hell up and stuff like that. And that's when Connor knew something was going on.
And there was screaming going on.
Yes, ma'am. Like, something was, like, banging around and stuff, and, Like the chairs were getting thrown around in the room.
Anna's ex.
Wait, I like
Anna's
zoned out.
ex-boyfriend says he spoke to the cheerleader's brother about what happened that night.
You heard him yelling at her, like in a harmful
Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so they're saying that the little brother, the 13-year-old brother that was coming out of the room, he said that he heard yelling in a harmful way.
way of like shut the hell up and stuff like that. And that's when Connor knew something was going on.
And there was screaming.
Connor, thankfully we have a name now.
Going on.
Yes, ma'am. Like something was like banging around and stuff, and like the chairs were getting thrown around in the room.
Anna's ex, Joshua, too, spoke with Inside Edition following her funeral at a church outside Orlando. He says that Anna was so afraid of her stepbrother that she frequently slept over at her friends' homes.
She just didn't feel.
Okay, heard that?
Joshua, too, spoke with Inside Edition following her funeral at a church outside Orlando. He says that Anna was so afraid of her stepbrother that she frequently...
So her boyfriend, who she was dating at the time, said Anna was afraid of that stepbrother. And she would frequently spend the night at other people's house and like other family members.
Slept over at her friends' homes.
She just didn't feel safe around
and friends.
him.
Joshua says the 16-year-old stepbrother, who is now under suspicion in Anna's death, was...
Girl, he's on trial now, or he's pre-trial now.
Sexually harassing her. He says he once saw him trying to climb into bed with her.
Oh my.
She's scared to tell anybody because she was scared that he would do something to her.
The FBI is investigating Anna's death because it happened in international waters. There was a tense atmosphere at Anna's funeral last night. Anna's biological mother told Inside Edition she was banned from attending but snuck in wearing a wig. Mourners were...
Girl. That was a lot to unpack.
Happened in international waters. There was a tense atmosphere at Anna's
funeral.
Funeral last night. Anna's biological mother told
her biological mother was banned from attending the funeral. That is cold. That is low down. Banning somebody's mama from going to their funeral. This seems like a Jerry Springer episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Inside Edition, she was banned from attending but snuck in.
She snuck in anyway, wearing a wig. And that's the picture they gave us.
Anna's death because it happened in international waters. There was a tense atmosphere at Anna's funeral last night. Anna's biological mother told Inside Edition she was banned from attending but snuck in wearing a wig. Mourners were told to dress in bright colors to reflect Anna's bubbly personality.
It's been pretty hard. She was my first love. She was the greatest thing ever.
Wow. Wow. Let's look at this video. Shocking new texts and teens cruise ship death released.
Is unveiled in the case of a high schooler allegedly strangled to death aboard a Carnival cruise ship.
This is also from like 5 months ago. The day after Christmas, they were putting this out on Law and Crime.
Pages of text messages have been released that show what Anna Kepner's stepmom told her ex-husband about what happened aboard the ship and what the alleged suspect said about it. What these new messages show, the couple said about things needing to be, quote, hush, hush, as the investigation was just beginning. Also, we are reportedly learning more about where that suspect is right now as the FBI continues to investigate a potential murder on the high seas. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Okay, Chris Stewart, let's see what you got.
2 months since Anna Kepner was found dead, reportedly in her stateroom aboard a cruise ship that she boarded less than a week earlier with her family.
Right.
The FBI hasn't said much about Anna Kepner's body being taken off of the ship on November 8th.
This was in December.
The investigation into what happened. At the time of this recording, there have not been any arrests in this case. Now, a lot of the information that we do have in this case, it's come from a separate custody case that involves Anna Kepner's stepmom and her ex-husband. And we now...
So we watched a clip or two, or just one from that. That was that brother, the brother of Timothy Hudson.
Just got perhaps our largest drop of information yet about what happened aboard the ship, and more specifically, what happened right after the 18-year-old cheerleader was found dead in her stateroom in early November aboard the Carnival cruise ship, the Horizon, because dozens of pages of text messages were just reportedly made public. And these are text messages that Anna Kepner's stepmom, who's named Chantel, and her ex-husband sent back and forth.
All right. So Chantel is the stepmom. She's the one that supposedly took the phone and took the kid and said, you coming to school in Titusville and all that. She's getting testified against. So Chantal is the stepmother. She was on the cruise. Of Anna Kepner.
After Anna Kepner was found dead. Now, Chantal Kepner previously was known as Chantal Hudson. She used to be married to a man named Thomas Hudson, and they have been in a custody case for more than a year. And there's a lot of messages that were sent that are unrelated to Anna, unrelated to the cruise, but...
So the unaliving happened in the midst of this custody battle already being underway.
There are some that were sent in the days after Anna's body was found aboard the ship and the FBI started to investigate. We do want to note, because her death happened on board a cruise ship, it's federal jurisdiction, which is why the FBI is involved. Now, let me show you how these text messages factor into this case, because if you've been following this story with us, you know this has been going on for almost 2 months at this point. We know that the final days of Anna Kepner's life are believed, according to family members, to have played out something like this. You have Kepner, her biological dad, who's named Chris, then her stepmom, Chantal, Anna Kepner's biological grandparents and her siblings, as well as her step-siblings, this blended family. They all took a cruise together.
God damn. Y'all heard all the people they had on that vacation? I could hear the jokes writing themselves. Oh, we couldn't go on a vacation like that. So we kill him. Somebody kill him. We kill each other.
Biological dad, who's named Chris, months at this point. We know that the final days of Anna Kepner's life are believed, according to family members, to have played out something like this. You have Kepner, her biological dad, who's named Chris, then her stepmom, Chantal, Anna Kepner's biological grandparents and her siblings, as well as her step-siblings, this blended family. They all took a cruise together that launched out of Miami. It was called the Carnival Horizon. We're talking about one of these massive floating cities, nearly 4,000 passengers, 15 decks. And it was a 6-day cruise. They made multiple stops in the Caribbean before the ship returned to South Florida. Now, Kepner was a varsity cheerleader from Titusville, Florida, which is about 3 hours north of Miami. She was planning to graduate in the spring. Her family said that she actually planned to join the military, the Navy, after graduation. Now, on November 6th, which is one of the last days on the cruise and the last day that Kepner was seen alive, she reportedly was not feeling well. And her grandparents told ABC News that it was because her braces were bothering her. So she called it in.
We heard this story from the indictment.
Early night, went back to her stateroom. November 7th.
This was like before 7:30 p.m.
The next day, the Kepners, the entire family, they get up, they go get breakfast, but Anna did not show up. Her grandfather told ABC that he was getting bingo cards when he hears this medical emergency announcement over the internet.
He's an OG over there getting bingo cards on the cruise ship, and he hears a medical emergency announcement.
And he realized the room number that medical staff were going to. It was around 11 o'clock that morning that the Daily Mail says that a maid entered Anna's stateroom, and that maid made a horrifying discovery on November 7th. Kepner's body allegedly was found wrapped in a blanket, covered over with life jackets, and stuffed under a bed. ABC News says that she had been strangled. An arm, allegedly across her neck, had killed her. There's reportedly no evidence of sexual assault or drugs.
That has been updated. There has now been reportedly evidence of assault, including DNA and forensic evidence.
Alcohol being in her system. Now, the ship returned to port on November 8th, and that is when Kepner's body was taken off of the Horizon and transported to the medical examiner's office in Miami-Dade County.
And also, the 16-year-old alleged murderer was took to the hospital too when they parked the ship.
This video here is of her body being taken off of the ship. It was taken by WSVN TV reporter Sheldon Fox. Now, according to the death certificate that Fox News first obtained, Kepner's date of
high school graduate or GED completed, Hispanic or Haitian origin, white, never married, never had a job, aboard Carnival cruise.
Death is listed as November 7th. Per a separate death certificate that ABC News has, they say they obtained one from a family member that lists the date of injury as November 6th. Now, again, investigators have not provided the public with a timeline of...
They have now, but this video is from 5 months ago.
Kepner's death, but a lot of information has come from the family through media interviews, and as well as through this custody situation involving her stepmom that we'll talk about here in just a moment. Now, one of the people aboard that cruise ship with Anna Kepner and the rest of the family was her stepbrother. He's 16 years old. He is the son of her stepmom, Chantal. Now, it was said in Chantal's custody case that the 16-year-old is a suspect in Anna's death.
He's now been arrested and he's pretrial.
And beyond that, Anna's grandparents told ABC News that he was the only other person seen going into the stateroom with Anna the night that she died. Now, what Anna's relationship was really like with her stepbrother, that does seem to be up for debate, because you have friends, in fact, you actually have a boyfriend, his family, ex-boyfriend, who have said that Anna did not have a good relationship with her stepbrother. They went on Inside Edition and they said that the stepbrother was obsessed with Anna and not in a good way. And she was not a fan of it. Quote, she was scared of him because he always carried around a big knife.
Come again?
This is according to the ex-boyfriend's dad, who also said that his son once witnessed the stepbrother go into Kepner's room during a FaceTime call, quote, when she was sleeping, and get on top of her. He's like infatuated, attracted.
What? Wait. So did she like fall asleep during a FaceTime call with her boyfriend, and then later her stepbrother came into the room? Is that what's being described here? Why is there... What I'm trying to figure out is, how could the boyfriend of Anna Kepner be on FaceTime with Anna and she sleep? Unless they were on FaceTime and she fell asleep.
Who also said that his son once witnessed the stepbrother go into Kepner's room during a FaceTime call, quote, when she was sleeping, and get on top of her. He's like infatuated, attracted to her like crazy. He always wanted to date her, that dad said to Inside Edition. The ex-boyfriend also told Inside Edition that Anna was so afraid of her stepbrother that she actually slept over at friends' houses just to get away from him. You have that narrative. It paints a very complicated, concerning picture of a stepbrother-stepsister relationship, but that narrative, it's very different from how her grandparents are characterizing her relationship with her stepbrother, because they told ABC News that Anna and her stepbrother had a real brother-sister type relationship, and they were actually like, quote, two peas in a pod. On this cruise, Anna was reportedly sharing a room with that stepbrother. According to what Anna's ex-boyfriend told Inside Edition, Anna's biological brother, who was also on the cruise, he actually tried to get into the stateroom, but he was locked out, and Anna and the stepbrother were inside the stateroom. This is, again, all Inside Edition, saying that the biological brother said he heard yelling in the stateroom and the stepbrother saying something along the lines of, quote, shut the hell up. And he could hear some banging around in the stateroom the night. The biological brother said he heard yelling in the stateroom and the stepbrother saying something along the lines of, quote, shut the hell up. And he could hear some banging around in the stateroom.
That testimony got left out the indictment.
The night that Anna died. Now, the grandparents told ABC News that investigators say the only person who was seen going into that stateroom with Anna before she was found dead was her 16-year-old stepbrother. Anna's grandparents say that everyone was questioned about Anna after her body was found. The stepson reportedly says he does not remember details about the alleged incident. And I'll have much more on that in a moment when we talk about these.
Yeah, he's going to act like he was drunk, or he was on drugs, or got drugged, or has amnesia. I feel like that's going to be his defense.
Text messages. According to ABC, the 16-year-old said, quote, in his own words, says he does not remember what happened. That is according to the grandparents. On top of that, Anna's grandma says in her interview with ABC News that she believes the boy, that he doesn't remember what happened.
The demon took over.
She also says the boy was hospitalized for a psychiatric evaluation once the ship returned.
Yeah. The thought of dealing with the consequences of one's actions probably took hold.
To port. Now, let's talk about this custody hearing, this custody case that has been playing out in the public eye after the death of Anna Kepner, because that's where we are getting a lot of our information through official channels. And again, it involves Anna Kepner's stepmom, Chantel, formerly Chantel Hudson, and Thomas Hudson, who is her ex-husband. And not only...
Okay, so there's Timothy's dad. He's the one who's alleged accused of having held that, oh, no. Actually, that was Chris. That was Chris Kepner, not him. Okay, so erase. This is the biological dad of the first kid that we saw. I'm saying kid, he's 18, but like the first one we saw do his little testimony, he described being chokeholded and stuff. This is his biological dad. And this is also the alleged killer's dad, biological father.
Are we learning about the stepson, the stepbrother, the potential suspect in this case? We are now learning a little bit more about what charges could look like. After court filings surfaced indicating that Anna's 16-year-old stepbrother was a suspect in her death, her stepmom's ex-husband, Thomas, took emergency action. He filed a motion claiming that with a homicide.
It's so hard to keep track of their, I know somebody sent me a family tree. I'm gonna go look at that stuff in a little while, but stepbrother, half brother, ex-stepmom, used to be former stepbrother, mom,
Suspect recently living in the home that their daughter the one that he shares with Chantel, was now in immediate danger.
Right. So that's probably why the alleged defendant killer lives with his uncle. But that's a problem too, because they got kids in that house too.
And he asked the judge to remove his daughter immediately. Now, in their most recent hearing, which happened on December 17th, the two sides broke down decisions that were made on the cruise. Here's Thomas Hudson's attorney, who
Okay, they did talk about the cruise in court.
laid out his core concerns about the cruise right in his opening statement. Listen to how he framed it for the
Okay,
judge.
this is the alleged killer's biological father.
Your Honor, in this case, obviously, it's our position that the youngest child is at risk for a number of reasons. As the court is aware through the pleadings, there's a young lady who's passed away. That matter is still under investigation. That was not my client's child, but the stepchild of the mother in this case.
But your client's child is the alleged killer.
And the
Wow, this came back to bite them in the ass. Okay, so this was all the way back in December, right? So at the time, nobody knew who allegedly killed Anna Kepner. All they knew was that she was found dead. So this guy is like, well, this Thomas Hudson is like, my children are in danger in that household. My children are in danger in that household. Bitch, it was your son that did it. But that hadn't been, as up to the front as possible. Is it legal to prevent the biological parent from attending a child's funeral? Absolutely. 100% yes. Because funerals are not state sponsored events. Funerals are not state, it's not like, it's not like something happens in the public square or something. Funerals are private events. And just like you, if you're the one paying, you're the one that entered the contract, you're the one that's having the funeral or a funeral, then you can keep people from being there. Yes, you can. And I think it's really low down to keep somebody's biological parent from even attending their funeral without even giving them a chance to come in, pay their last respects and leave. The argument is that parent could have a funeral as well. They could have a funeral if they want to. This is just how we are privately deciding to celebrate the life of the person, and we can decide who comes in here and who don't. We're paying to rent this venue. We're paying for, whatever. So yeah, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. Now, maybe some states somehow, some way have laws against that. I've never heard of any.
Remaining 16-year-old is now a suspect in that case. In this case, the mother took the children, both on a cruise against my client's wishes, while preventing him from having regular contact with those children. We believe
one thing I will tell y'all, you can't believe nothing comes out of a family law attorney's mouth. They are the lionest ones of all, believe it or not.
that the arrangements that were made by the mother, as far as the sleeping arrangements, were insufficient, that the 18-year-old, 16-year-old, and another 14-year-old were all placed in the same stateroom. There's indications that they may have, because they were in international waters, may have been engaging in activities that they normally couldn't engage in.
They're definitely going to blame this on alcohol. They're going to blame, oh my God, the 16-year-old alleged killer's defense, I'm predicting it, this prediction, official prediction, is going to be he was drunk, he wasn't being supervised, he had never had drinks before, maybe someone gave him a pill, maybe someone gave him a this, that. They gave him blood tests and drug tests at that hospital. That's going to be his defense. And it's going to be his parents were negligently supervising, and so they should be charged. These people, obviously, all these parents obviously hate each other.
They were in the United States properly being supervised.
Now, the attorney for Anna's stepmom, Chantel, had a very different view of the situation in that home after Anna's death. Her core argument was simple, that the person at the center of the
Right. That's another question I had. Like, how did they figure out? And I mean, I know they have ways of figuring out. It's not like that astonishing or, perplexing, but how? I am interested to know exactly, did they figure out, the authorities figure out that Anna had relations with at least one other person? Who knew that? Who didn't? Did it come from the DNA? Did it come from the this, that? And is the alleged killer, the 16-year-old's lawyer, going to try to argue, he was so jealous that she wouldn't, whatever with him? Again, y'all, this is so crazy because they are step brother and sister. I know they're not related, but like once you decide to join families together, like you should probably act like families if you could help it. I mean, there's always situations, I understand that, but, like, I could totally understand how she would be like, "Ew, no." Also, she was 18 years old, like an adult, and he was 16 years old. Even if the family stuff had nothing to do with it, like, that's still like, "Ew, like, you're like a kid." They're definitely gonna try and act like he was jealous and hormonal and couldn't control his rage, and he shouldn't have been left alone in a room with a grown woman that he was attracted to, and he should have been better supervised. Oh yeah, it's coming. That's what I feel like. Hold on, I gotta go to the restroom. Let me make my little sign. I'll be right back in like 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. What else?
FBI's investigation, her own 16-year-old son, Anna's stepbrother, the suspect in Anna's case, was living elsewhere.
We believe, and I think we filed that in our response, that there's no emergency that exists.
He's living with his uncle.
Was an incident on the cruise ship. The Federal Bureau of Investigations is investigating that. There have been no arrests made yet.
Look, this cop's eyes perked up.
Was a suspect in that. After he was released from the hospital upon the return to the United States, he was placed with a relative of the mother's. And not only did that happen, but mom contacted dad, and dad signed an agreement to say that this child would be placed with a third party, thereby removing any risk of any danger to any of the other children in the home. So that has been resolved.
And in a later statement, her attorney revealed something pretty significant. Anna Kepner's stepbrother could potentially face charges. Now, this was the first time that we heard in court that criminal charges for Anna's death are being actively considered because the FBI really hasn't said anything.
I think the uncle is related to the mom, related to Timothy's mom.
How long is Timothy expected to remain with the relative?
At this point, we're not sure. We're not sure what the FBI is going to do, whether he's going to be charged federally or whether they're going to turn it over to the state.
Now, with that potential prosecution hanging in the air, the stepmom was called to the stand and forced to answer for the exact environment and decisions that the FBI is now investigating.
Okay.
The questioning went straight to the cruise and the choices made.
The judge is a vampire or what?
Did you recently go on a cruise?
Yes.
And did any of the children go with you on the cruise?
She looks young.
Did you reach out to Mr. Hudson to request that he agree to passports for the children?
I reached out to him to inform him of my itinerary to take the children on a cruise and did ask for the passports, but they weren't needed in this cruise.
And Mr. Hudson actually refused to cooperate with obtaining passports, correct?
To sign for the passports, yes.
You said passports weren't necessary, so they weren't obtained?
Correct.
As far as the minor children, what were the sleeping arrangements on this cruise?
Was in my room with my husband and his 9-year-old daughter, and then shared a room with his stepsister and stepbrother.
I can understand needing to share rooms among a family. And I absolutely don't think there's anything at all wrong with having siblings share rooms, either in their own house or on a cruise ship. Once they're kind of like older and it's boy, girl, it starts to get fuzzy, this, that. But the mom and the stepdad, or the dad and the stepmom, should have split up. Should have been one parent, 2 kids, one parent, 2 kids, or however, whatever. It should have been parent in a room. Especially considering there had been a history possibly of reported inappropriate activities on the behalf of the 16-year-old. Maybe he should have been being supervised. I mean, this is just hindsight's 2020, but what if something would have actually happened that wasn't anyone's fault even? Like, what if somebody would have had a seizure? What if, like, I understand, like, the one girl, she was 18 years old, but the other 2 people in the room were not.
Sleeping arrangements on this cruise.
Was in my room with my husband and his 9-year-old daughter, and then shared a room with his stepsister and stepbrother. The room was directly across from ours.
What was the stepsister?
Like, if you need to be sleeping in the same room as your husband, I totally get it. But maybe you shouldn't go on a cruise as a family. Maybe you should do something else. Maybe you should pick a different activity. I mean, someone died. It's not like it's like unwarranted what I'm saying.
Name?
Anna Kepner.
And what was the stepbrother's name? And how old is
14.
The grandparents were there too. Right. I forgot about that. Y'all, there was enough chaperones to have an adult in each room and rotate. Even if just for medical emergency purposes, there should have been I know that Anna was an adult, like 18 as an adult, but like, you know what I mean? She died. She got killed.
Who made the decision to have these 3 teenagers in one room in the cruise?
We had talked it over with our travel agent, and that was what was suggested.
Did you have to sign any special permission for the children to reside together?
Because one was 18?
So was it a mutual decision
Or
between
she's
yourself
lying.
and your husband?
Correct.
And at some point, did you discover that one of the children had passed away?
Yes.
And when was that you discovered that?
Friday morning.
When was the last time that you'd seen the child before that Friday morning?
Thursday night.
You sure was 18.
Approximately what time?
Right around 6:30.
That's interesting, because if she saw Anna for the last time around 6:30, Anna doesn't arrive to her cabin. Okay, this is interesting. What was Anna doing for an hour? All right. If this mom's telling the truth, or if she's correct, if she's not mistaken, Anna got up and left dinner at 6:30, around 6:30. According to the prosecutors yesterday at that minute-by-minute timeline that got unsealed or whatever, maybe not yesterday, but at some point recently, according to prosecutors, Anna was seen on camera going into her cabin around 7:30, 7:38, if I recall correctly. So she said she wasn't feeling good. She said her braces were hurting. She's going back to her cabin, but she didn't go back to her cabin. And now I'm wondering if in fact she had went to go meet and hook up with a guy. Do you see why I'm thinking that? There was an hour that went by. If the 6:30 is when she left the dinner, 7:30 is when she entered her cabin. Her story to her alibi was that she was going back to the cabin. My braces hurt. I don't feel good. But we also know that she did have relations with someone else on the cruise ship. When and where and how, we don't know. We don't know who. But she did have relations with a male on the cruise ship voluntarily. Apparently what they're giving to us is voluntarily. So she got up and left the dinner. There's an hour that goes by before she makes it back to the cabin. But who makes it back to the cabin a mere 3 minutes before Anna? Who goes into the cabin first? The 16-year-old stepbrother, who's now alleged to be the killer. About 7:35 p.m., 3 minutes later, 7:38, that's when Anna comes in. Where was she for an hour? Now, this could all be blown to smithereens if this lady's timeline is off.
Thursday night.
And a lot has happened. Okay, she might have the time off for 1 hour here or there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think this is the one where I was like, this person is so young. Who is this? She looks like so young. I think this is her, the mom.
Possibly what time?
Right around 6:30.
Well, I don't necessarily think the brother caught her, but let's say Timothy, the alleged killer, was obsessed with Anna and he was following her around. And maybe she left the dinner at 6:30, around 6:30, to go hang out with another guy. Maybe Timothy also left the dinner to go track her down, saw she obviously wasn't going back to the room. Maybe he just went to go back to the room with her. Maybe he just wanted to be with her and she like didn't want to be in that room because she knew he was going to follow her, so she was hiding from him or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, what if she spent that hour or so with another guy and yeah, Timothy knew about it. He flew into a drunk, jealous rage. This is going to be the possible defense. He was drunk, he was jealous, he loved her, he was desperate, he was hormonal, he was just a kid, 16 years old, da 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 da. And he's 16 now. He might have been 15 at the time. I don't know how old he was at the time. But he hadn't been, supervised and this and that, and they were letting the kids run wild. That I feel like that's going to be his defense. Obsidian said that would actually somehow make sense. The in and the out of the room was possibly him looking for her. Why do we know his name? Because he's being charged as an adult.
And your child, did you see him that Thursday night as well?
Yes.
What time did you see him at?
Closer to 7, just a little bit before 7.
What was he doing at that time?
I think this is Timothy's bio mom.
He was headed back to his room.
Do you know whether or not was present in the room as well?
They all were headed back to their room, as far as I know.
So
something ain't lining up with what this lady is saying and the leaving dinner braces hurt story. It's not compatible. They were all heading back to the room together and she just saw them in the hall. A minute ago, we were reading that the prosecutor said they had dinner and she alone excused herself.
Did you see him that Thursday night as well?
Yes.
What time did you see him at?
Closer to 7, just a little bit before 7.
Okay, so this is 30 minutes or so after she left the room. So now she is accounted for, according to this mom, within that hour. So now I don't have the same question about what was she doing for an hour?
What was he doing at that time?
He was headed back to his room.
Okay.
Do you know whether or not was present in the room as well?
They all were headed back to their room.
The brother, they all were. But they didn't make it back to the room altogether. 7:35, Timothy gets back. 7:38, Anna gets back. And it's not till 7:51, the younger brother gets back. So they were not all they did not all arrive at the same place at the same time. But eventually within a 20-ish minute period, they did.
So where was their room in relation to your room?
Right across the hall. You walked out my door, their door was right in front of it.
Did you return to your room that evening?
Yes.
What time did you return to your room?
7 o'clock.
7 p.m.?
So when she went back to her room, she came across the 3 teenagers from that were staying across. 7 o'clock.
Yeah, right. It was actually closer to 7:30.
Oh, now it's closer to 7:30.
For the rest of the night?
Yes.
So she didn't hear the loud screaming and all? She was drunk too, or what?
The teenagers across the hall, did you ever go in and check on them?
No, I had went to sleep.
Ooh. Do you know if Christopher went across the hall to check on them?
Not that I know of.
Nobody checked.
Or left the room that night on that Thursday night?
I never seen him leave the room.
The attorney then pivoted to questions about the environment on the ship, probing what activities the teenagers might have had access to,
this is
specifically alcohol and gambling. She says the underage children didn't drink because they're not old enough, but when pressed specifically about the 18-year-old, Anna Kepner, her answer was a firm, I don't know, which leaves a question about what supervision.
I think if you're 18 on a cruise ship in the Mexico, like a Mexico destination cruise ship on Carnival, you're 18. I think you can drink. It used to be that way.
Or awareness there was of Anna on this cruise, an adult who was sharing a room.
Well, they took that boy, the alleged killer, to the hospital immediately upon docking. So I am almost certain they took blood and tested it. They're going to be able to tell if he had recently drank alcohol.
With 2 minors, including the reported suspect in her death. Listen to this.
Did you drink it all during the cruise?
I had 2 pina coladas and a blue Hawaiian earlier in the week, but it wasn't on the same day. It was
Okay,
one
3 drinks. Okay, the whole cruise. That's fine. And they're weak on the
Do you
cruise.
know if the children, based on being in international waters, could I drink alcohol?
No,
You don't know.
no, they didn't. They're not old enough.
What about Anna?
I don't know.
She's not counting Anna as children, I guess.
Weren't you aware that the children were gambling at some point?
Well, Anna's 18, so I know she was in there at one point in time, but the other kids were not.
You're sure that the other kids were not gambling?
I'm sure the other kids were not gambling.
Next, the questioning turns to
Okay.
a critical.
I got to say, this mom was seemingly very negligent, even by her own admission. What I will say, though, is gambling areas on cruise ships and drinks should also be, if just in case there's a shitty parent on board, the bartender should be IDing people, or there should be a wristband system. Kids should not be able to get alcohol, or people under the age should not be able to get alcohol on a cruise ship. They should not be able to get into bars on cruise ships, and they should not be able to get into casinos and gamble on cruise ships. If they can keep kids out of the casinos on land, they can keep them out on the sea. So while this mom is definitely 100% responsible, there are also other people who could have stopped it, could have stopped a 16-year-old from drinking, because I know they do it at Tigerland. All right. If they can do it at Tigerland at Reggie's, they could do it on the cruise ship.
Detail, and it goes directly to the state of the 16-year-old suspect in the hours before Anna's death. It's his prescribed medication. The attorney established
Oh, yeah, the clonidine stuff.
that the teen has ADHD and takes 2 medications. One he takes in the morning called Concerta, and then he takes a nighttime pill for insomnia called clonidine. Chantel, the stepmom, testified that she held on to both medications on the cruise, but then came a major admission about the final night.
Listen.
As far as does he have any diagnoses?
He has ADHD.
And how long has he been diagnosed with ADHD?
About 3 or 4 years.
Those after your separation from Mr. Hudson, correct?
About that timeline, yes.
And does he receive medication for his ADHD?
He does.
And what medication was he on for his ADHD?
Methylphenidate.
Could you pronounce that for me and spell it, Pam, if you know?
Concerta.
Methylphenidate. I don't know the spelling.
Okay.
The name brand's Concerta. That helps.
Thank you.
And how often would take that medication?
I think you'll see the argument they're trying to make with the meds. Just hold on.
Every morning.
And did he take the medication on the cruise with him?
Yes. He also takes a nighttime pill as well.
The same medication?
No, it's clonidine.
She should not have offered up that information. That just busted
that
her
for?
wide open.
Insomnia.
So he takes a probably powerful stimulant during the morning, and coming not as a surprise to me, he has trouble going to sleep at night. So not only is he taking the stimulant, the methylphenidate, but he's also at nighttime to sleep, because he's on a stimulant all day, has to take a sleeping pill. That's what they're calling this thing, clonidine. But clonidine isn't just for insomnia. Clonidine is, like, if I remember correctly, a benzo, like an anxiety pill. Now, add that together with the question this lawyer already asked on the defense side earlier. Were the kids maybe able to do some stuff on this cruise that they wouldn't have been able to do on land? That made me think that they were probably drinking, possibly doing some other substances outside of the watch of their parents. That seems to be what's being implied by the question. Were they able to do some other stuff on the cruise ship that they're not able to do on land? I mean, I'm sure he wasn't talking about murder. Klonopin is the benzo. Clonidine is similar, but it's not a benzo. Okay. So it isn't that they're trying to say he had ADHD, he's a killer. Because remember, the guy is talking about his own client's own son. So technically he's arguing for the interests of him as well. Timothy, right? The defense lawyer is arguing for Timothy's biological father and is the lawyer for Timothy's biological father. So this lawyer doesn't have a very strong interest to make Timothy look like a crazy psycho killer, what he's trying to do is provide an excuse for poor Timothy Hudson that his mother had him on this cruise and he was exposed to alcohol and gambling, and he doesn't even remember it, right? Like, he's trying to make him seem like he's innocent. Not make him seem like he's innocent, but basically he's trying to put all the blame on this lady. So he's not saying, oh, isn't Timothy so effed up he had ADHD and he's a killer? No. He's trying to lay the foundation that if Timothy would have had his medication that night for insomnia, his ass would have been knocked out. He would have been sleeping in the dream realm, or perhaps the deep sleep realm. So it has nothing to do with the ADHD directly. It's that the ADHD causes him to have to take a medication. A side effect of ADHD medication, anyone who's ever taken it will know, is it affects your sleep somehow. Sometimes makes people really sleepy, actually. But sometimes ADHD medication, because it's a stimulant, makes it difficult for a person who's taking it to go to sleep. It's a side effect. Now, the side effect sometimes will get diagnosed as its own thing. Insomnia. Yes, you absolutely can have insomnia as its own separate condition outside of a side effect of Adderall or Concerta. However, anybody that's ever actually taken these medications knows that they can affect your sleep. You have to sometimes taper down off to a smaller dose. Now, when I think about the fact that this is a young boy, and I just know there's a pattern of over-medicalization and over-medication, especially on young boys in the United States of America, it's not that he has, or it's not the fact that he's been diagnosed with ADHD that anyone is saying is an issue. The issue is that he also was, as a result of taking ADHD medication, as a result of taking it, he has a side effect, which is insomnia. So he has to take in his insomnia medicine to sleep at night. So what they're kind of trying to imply here is, and I don't know, I wasn't there, I'm not a doctor, who knows? Maybe the guy was a psycho killer with or without medication. I'm just trying to tell you what the argument is, okay? Don't shoot the messenger. But it appears to me, maybe not the argument, but the insinuation is, if this lazy would have gave him his clonidine, he would have been sleeping and not killing somebody. Now, is that because he took ADD medicine, he killed someone? Absolutely not. People take it every day for decades and never kill nobody. Is that mean because he has ADD, he killed somebody? No, the argument seems to be, we wouldn't even be asking these questions if his ass would have been asleep that night. Now, the other side, if I was then defending the mom, right? So that was the one side. The counter argument to that is, it was like between 7:30 and 10:51 p.m. You think he would have took the medicine at 6 o'clock and went to sleep by 7:30 on a vacation? Hell no. So it don't really matter that he was awake or asleep. The whole thing was said and done by 10:51 when he left out the room. So that's how I would handle the counter argument. But this is just me trying to, not only see all sides, but like push the arguments that I could anticipate either side making to what I think could be almost unreasonable, but the furthest conclusion possible.
Did you hold on to the medications?
Yes.
Did you make sure he took his medications every day?
He took his morning pill every day, and he missed 2 doses of his clonidine at night.
So he missed 2 doses of clonidine. Does missing 2 doses of clonidine for insomnia make you kill someone? Of course not.
You held on to the clonidine as well?
Mm-hmm.
That's yes?
Yes, sorry.
And what do you mean he missed the doses? What happened there?
He went to bed before he got it. He was already asleep.
So you didn't go wake him up and say, here, take your meds? Well, I mean, I guess I could see from her argument, it'd be like, why would I wake him up to give him drugs when he was already asleep? The drugs are for going to sleep. He's already asleep. So I could see either side.
Including that Thursday night?
No, Thursday night he didn't get it. I fell asleep before he did.
They're going to argue. No, I don't think it's a great argument, but they're going to argue, had he only been given his medicine? Why? Because they have to argue something. And also, this one's already on their chopping block. They already paying lawyers to destroy her. So they want to make it her fault. If she had done her duty as a mother, I can hear it now.
So just to make sure I understand, ma'am, while on the cruise, he missed taking that nighttime medication twice. One of the nights was because he fell asleep prior to taking the medication, and the other night was the night before.
Correct. I fell asleep before he did.
You fell asleep, so he did not get the medication the night.
Yeah, he didn't
before the incident. All right, thank you.
So according to her own testimony.
So the night before the incident or the night of the incident?
The 16-year-old suspect, who had been prescribed medication for insomnia, didn't receive that medication on the final night. She says that she fell asleep before he did and didn't give it to him. Now, this raises immediate questions for the investigation because you have to wonder what was the state of mind or the ability to sleep that night without his medication. Could that have had a role in his actions or behavior?
I don't
allegedly
think
inside
so.
that stateroom. The hearing also.
My personal opinion, I don't think that played a role at all whatsoever. My personal opinion, I don't think that's going to stop the defense from making the argument.
Revealed how the tragedy surrounding Anna has disrupted the lives of the living children in the home. The attorney then asked Chantel about the immediate consequences for her young daughter, still living in the shadow of this tragedy.
After the cruise, did she have to be removed from school?
They placed her on homeschool. They just unenrolled her this past Monday.
And why is that?
That was their choice to unenroll her.
Say their choice. Who are you talking about?
The school's choice. It had nothing to do with her behavior or anything. It had to do with the media.
Oh, she was in school and they kicked her out because of the media surrounding the death. According to this lady, I don't know if she tells the truth.
On homeschool status indefinitely?
No, she's being enrolled into another school.
Okay.
Did you discuss that with Mr. Hudson?
I let him know that he had asked me to let him know when she was enrolled, and I told him I would. But I just found out this week that she was unenrolled from the school.
Girl, her whole life is crumbling down.
As far as going to be allowed to come back to your home at any point?
At this time, no. Not with the FBI investigation.
Later, Chantel Kepner's attorney worked to solidify the narrative about the relationship between Anna and her stepbrothers, a relationship that, again, it's been described pretty differently.
Anna, who we know passed away, she was 18, correct?
Correct.
And was an adult?
Correct.
And was she given the option of staying in another room?
All three of the kids were.
And would that room have been with Grandma and Grandpa?
Correct.
And they didn't want to do that?
No, they wanted to stay together.
Did they all get along?
Yeah, the three of them are like the three amigos. They're best friends.
This is the picture that the stepmom side is committed to. A close, chosen bond between the teenagers, a stark contrast to prior claims that Anna was afraid of her stepbrother.
Right,
Did your
true.
ex-wife inform you that she was going on a cruise and taking the children?
She did.
And what was your position regarding that?
I wasn't okay with it. I let her know I wasn't okay with it.
I don't trust none of them.
Because at that time, I was getting nowhere with seeing my kids. I had barely any communication at all.
There was one notable absence from this hearing, and that's Anna's own dad, her biological dad, Christopher Kepner. Now, he was subpoenaed to testify about the safety of the home and the decisions made on the cruise, but he dodged service and did not appear. And that gets
So
us
he
to
wasn't
these new text
subpoenaed.
messages that have since been released as part
If you weren't served, you weren't subpoenaed. Law and crime.
of this custody case that has been playing out. WKMG TV in Orlando says a day after Kepner's body was found, Chantel allegedly reached out to her ex-husband about needing to talk to him as soon as possible about what she called an emergency. Now, here are some of the text messages.
Hold on.
A
I was
day
reading
at
y'all's
service and did not appear. And that
hold on. I was reading y'all's things. I need to go back.
Time, I was getting nowhere with seeing my kids. I had barely any communication at all.
There was one notable absence from this hearing, and that's Anna's own dad, her biological dad, Christopher Kepner. Now, he was subpoenaed to testify about the safety of the home and the decisions made on the cruise, but he dodged service and did not appear.
Okay.
And that gets us to these new text messages that have since been released as part of this custody case that has been playing out.
Okay.
WKMG TV in Orlando says a day after Kepner's body was found, Chantel allegedly reached out to her ex-husband about needing to talk to him as soon as possible about what she called an emergency. Now, here are some of the text messages.
Okay.
These are from November 8th, and this is related to Thomas, the ex-husband, wanting to take their shared daughter as the investigation was just beginning. So here's a text from Chantel, quote, "I really do appreciate it, and I'm not trying to be in any which way. I just think it'll be more traumatizing for her to be removed as of right now. She doesn't know anything about the stepbrother. The only thing I told her is that he was having a hard time coping with losing Anna, so he's getting checked out by the hospital." And Thomas
Okay.
responds, "Okay, well, I'm not trying to push it, but the offer is there if when you find more out and have to handle things."
Okay.
And Chantel says, "When we have to cross that bridge, you and I will come up with a way."
So they're kind of like cryptically talking about possible custody adjustments based on where things go with an investigation into the now arrested accused killer.
To tell her and Andrew.
Stepbrother.
Now, Thomas says okay to that. Chantel says, I will call you tomorrow as soon as I hear anything. And Thomas says, okay. So they continue talking the next day, November 9th. This is after Anna's body has been taken off of the cruise ship. The ship arrived back in Miami on the 8th. And we're talking 2 days now after Anna's body was found. And here's what Chantel's ex-husband starts to say about the suspect in the case, Anna's stepbrother. Thomas says, quote, are you able to talk or see the stepbrother? We are not going.
Thomas. So is this guy not? The family tree. I thought the guy that she was fighting in court was the biological father. Thomas Kepner. Is that not his name? They should have gave us a family tree. This Jerry Springer asked, where's Mari? We need to know who is the father.
To put his name out there because he hasn't been charged and he is a minor. Now, Chantel says, I'm waiting on the FBI and also the doctor to call me as soon as I know something. I promise you that I won't. I will call you. Chantel then says something.
I'm waiting on the FBI and the doctor to call me.
Like, quote, stupid talk to text. Chantel says, I promise you as soon as I get a call, but you are going to be the first person I call. Chantel then says, as soon as I know anything, you will be the only one I will be calling. Thomas says, I get that, but I mean, have you talked to the stepbrother while he's at the facility? Chantel says, I was able to talk to him last night for under.
Have you talked to the alleged killer while he's at the psychiatric facility? The stepmom, this is Anna Kepner's, I'm so confused now. Anna Kepner's mom, the one we just saw on the stand, Chantel says, I talked to him in the hospital last night for under 2 minutes briefly. He just keeps repeating over and over. He can't remember anything. Yeah.
2 minutes briefly.
Like those Murdochs.
He just keeps repeating over and over. He can't remember anything. Chantel says, I don't even know if they were allowed to let me talk to him or not. The nurse was very nice and let me talk to him just to tell him that you and I love him. Thomas says, quote, I just want him to know that he isn't just dead to everyone, regardless of everything at the moment.
I think Thomas was typing the stepbrother to try to maybe hide. That's his dad. That's his kid, right? I'm so lost.
His parents. I know you know that. I just would like to have a chance to talk to him as soon as possible.
Okay.
Chantel says, Chris, who is Anna's biological dad.
Anna's real dad and Anna's biological dad and Anna's biological mom. I'm confused.
And his parents told him yesterday before they took him, we told him no matter what, you and us are with him. He isn't alone. Then Thomas says, okay, I know everything is supposed to be hush, hush.
Hush, hush, family secret.
For now, but I've seen that it is still getting out with posts and comments between Facebook, TikTok, and stuff. I just want to make sure until things are certain that he doesn't get any unnecessary comments towards him. And Chantel says, nobody knows anything about him.
None of this seems wrong to me yet. This is like 2 days after it happened. They don't know for sure what happened yet. And they are his parents. So I could see them being like, all right, I know we're not really supposed to be talking too much about this yet till we know more for sure. It's not like they're saying, oh, let's hide it. They're saying until. I mean, they have a lot of issues and I have a lot of criticisms, but like, I don't think these texts are like as bad as they're trying to make it seem.
He is a minor and has been kept completely out of it. We have not said anything to anybody, and we are going to try our best to keep it completely out. He is a minor, so his name shouldn't be anywhere. And when we talk to the FBI again, we will reiterate that we do not want his name out there. And everything that's been posted on TikTok and social media, nobody knows anything, and everybody's just speculating. We know what I told you last night, and we'll know exactly more when the autopsy is done.
They'll know more
Once
later.
We get the autopsy today, depending on what it says, depend on whether he's booked on these charges, end quote. So clearly the family there, perhaps not surprisingly, expecting charges in this case. And we're still waiting to hear from the FBI if and when that happens. Now, as far as where the boy has been since the cruise, the Daily Mail claims they found him at a family home in rural Florida, and he was actually selling firewood on the side of the road. A reporter apparently approached him and asked him about the death of Anna Kepner, and the 16-year-old boy reportedly said, quote, I'd rather not talk. He then appeared to lower his hat over his face and walked away. Now, even though Chantel seems to think that her son's name would not be put out into the public, you search social media and it certainly has been put out in the public, but we here at Law and Crime, we're not naming him because at 16 years old, he is a minor. Now, if he is charged and if he is tried as an adult, all of that could change. We'll continue to follow this story
Which he was, and he was. Wow. That is so crazy. I know we need a web. I know. The lady is the stepmom. Chantel is the alleged. See, people are saying she's the mother, she's the stepmom, because here's the thing, like, stepmom of who? Y'all gotta be more specific. Okay, hold on. So somebody said they sent me the family tree. That's true. Oh boy, nope, that don't help. I'll show y'all, but it don't help. That's not how my mind works. I can't read it. This makes it worse. No, this makes it worse. Nope, 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 nope. Thank you for trying. Let's see. Okay, I see. Thank you, Kia, for sending that one. I'll have to take a look after. Hold on. Anna Kepner's stepmom. Let's see.
We are turning our attention now from Massachusetts to Florida, where details surrounding the death of an 18-year-old teenager, Anna.
Okay, so this is like an hour and 20 minutes long, so I'll have to do that one on a different day. The convolution is convoluting indeed, if I do say so myself. So I wanted to show y'all my video that came out yesterday and re-ask you again to go and watch it. Okay, you've been lied to about Britney Spears, and it is pretty much a manifesto. I'll say a manifesto of media manipulation. Okay, or I should say an expose. And as many people pointed out yesterday, it did make them think that this is the same pattern that applies to everything. Like, that's how they convince us of everything. It is pretty much a labor of love that has taken the greater part of the last 6 years to really put together. And, you know, there's always, it's a great episode. It was a masterpiece. It is long. It is an hour, 48 minutes long. It took weeks and weeks to make. Many rounds of editing, many rounds of revisions. There still was some stuff that I probably would do a little bit differently as I was watching it. But yeah, okay. So make sure you go watch that. There is a new video. This is from today, 4 hours ago. It says prosecutors reveal new evidence in cruise ship on a live case. And I mean, you really can just tell, I mean, how young he is. Not that that makes it, you know, anything other than just an observation of only that.
This morning, Timothy Hudson, accused of murdering his stepsister Anna Kepner during a family vacation on a Carnival cruise, avoiding jail for now. A judge ordering the now 16-year-old to stay with family ahead of his trial.
Yikes.
Anna's father, who's married to Timothy's mother, upset with the judge's ruling, telling GMA exclusively that I want him in custody. Right now, being free and able to do whatever he wants seems to have made him think that there are no consequences for his actions. For the first time, we're learning from court documents.
Wait a second.
Ruling,
Hold on.
telling GMA.
Let me slow this down. They're going real fast.
Exclusively that I want him in custody. Right now,
Wow.
being free and able to do whatever he wants seems to have made him think that there are no consequences for his actions.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So this is Christopher Kepner. This is Anna's father.
Jail for now. A judge ordering the now 16-year-old to stay with family ahead of his trial. Anna's father, who's married to Timothy's mother, upset.
Anna's father. So victim's biological father, alleged killer's biological mother. So her son killed his daughter. It's hard to keep up.
With the judge's ruling, telling GMA exclusively that I want him in custody. Right now, being free and able to do whatever he wants seems to have made him think that there are no consequences for his actions. For the first time, we're learning from court documents that another brother of Anna's, a 14-year-old, was sharing the same stateroom with Anna and Timothy last November and will likely be a witness for the prosecution. According to the timeline set out by prosecutors.
Okay, so he might be a witness, the little brother. The one who, came back, got kicked out, all that, sat in the hall for a while. He's going to maybe be a witness.
Closed-circuit TV on board the ship shows Timothy entering the stateroom at 7.
So Timothy goes in, the alleged killer, at 7:35
p.m. 3 minutes later, Anna enters the same room. A little more than 10 minutes later, the 14-year-old brother enters the cabin and quickly exits.
He also exits, and then Anna does some type of activity on her phone on Snapchat around 8 something.
Timothy is not spotted on camera again until 10:13 p.m. when he leaves the room, looking left and right down the hallway, appearing to check if there is anyone in the hallway, and then he walks outside.
It was a camera. Big Brother's always watching Timothy.
Exiting the cabin approximately 2 more times before putting the privacy sign on the door. Then at 12:09 a.m., the 14-year-old brother attempts to get back into the room. Timothy initially stops him before letting him in. He then goes to sleep, unaware his sister's body is tucked under the bed.
Wow.
According to the document, Timothy dumped Anna's phone near a trash bin on another deck. The cruise line is able to trace the movements of passengers' phones with internet routers spaced throughout the ship. And investigators say her phone traveled with Timothy, hitting all the wireless networks. The medical examiner later determined Anna was asphyxiated by a chokehold during a sexual...
I've heard chokehold. I've heard arm bar.
...assault.
So there was an sexual assault in progress as the choking happened. That's the new update. Alleged.
Well, Timothy has pleaded not guilty. He is currently not in custody. A judge is waiting on a report for potential detainment options closer to his home near Central Florida. The trial is set for September. Guys?
All right, Victor, those new details are chilling.
Yeah, I would say. I would definitely say. How traumatizing for that. Yeah, he ain't going to be the only one needs to be in the hospital. How traumatizing. Yeah, so there was apparently, yes, his DNA found inside Anna. Apparently. That's what the prosecutor said.
Federal prosecutors here in Miami say Anna Kepner's stepbrother is a danger to others and should be held in custody until his trial. To illustrate the danger, the government disclosed never before shared information about the cruise ship murder. I was outside the Miami federal courthouse as Kepner's stepbrother arrived. Timothy Hudson is just 16 years old. Originally, when this case was being handled as a juvenile matter, a judge allowed Hudson to remain free while living with a family member. But now that a grand jury has charged Hudson as an adult and he's facing possible life in prison, prosecutors are asking a judge to detain him. On the night before the Carnival Horizon returned home to Miami in November, prosecutors say surveillance video from the cruise ship confirms 16-year-old Hudson and his 18-year-old stepsister, Anna Kepner, were alone together in a cabin for about 3 hours. According to prosecutors, Hudson raped his stepsister, leaving his DNA on her body. Based on how Kepner's underwear was found, prosecutors believe it was a violent encounter and not consensual. After the rape, prosecutors say Hudson most likely put Kepner in a chokehold and squeezed her neck for about 3 to 5 minutes until she died. After hiding Kepner's body underneath a bed in the stateroom, prosecutors say Hudson took her cell phone and then walked around the cruise ship until he threw the phone away in a trash can. Hudson, who has pleaded not guilty to aggravated sexual abuse and murder, did not challenge those allegations at this court hearing. Instead, his attorney argued that the 16-year-old boy is not a flight risk and not a danger to others and should be allowed to remain free while awaiting trial. For now, the judge allowed Hudson to return to his uncle's home. But the judge says he is considering the government's request to detain Hudson. Now, keep in mind, federal criminal
So the
juvenile
judge
cases
hasn't
are
decided for
extremely
sure.
rare. There is no federal juvenile detention center. The judge is asking the U.S. Marshals to come up with options where Hudson could be detained, possibly
The judge is going to lock this kid up at some point. I actually think that.
state-run juvenile detention center, either here in Miami or closer to his family in Central Florida. Reporting in Miami, Mike.
Okay, so I'm glad we watched a few different videos because I think that kind of fills in a little bit of the questions that I had. I think the judge is like, okay, if he was an adult, I'd have him locked up. If he was 20 years old, he'd be going to jail. Now we're just now told that there is no federal juvenile detention center. So they really, even though he is being charged as an adult, they really don't have like a place to put him. And that's why the judge said, hey, prosecutors, give me some options. Can we have him closer to his mom and daddy's home at a juvenile jail, but it's still at least he'll be in jail? It does kind of sound like the judge is leaning toward putting him in the detention. And this comes as a surprise to me considering he hasn't done so yet. It does also seem like there's been a few different judges. Beth Bloom and Estrada and this and that. Thank you to the Marie 5D for the $10 super chat. Thank you, BJ. Thank you for that. Thank you to Sarah Lynn for the $10 super chat. Thanks for making work so much better. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Thank you both. Charge as adult, then put him in adult jail. I hear you, but I don't think that's normally what they do. Once they are put in actual, sentenced, I think they do. But I think being held before you're actually legally found guilty, I don't know if they normally do that. I'm sure they have in the past. I don't think they never do it. But it's starting to make a little bit more sense to me. Okay. Well, today I'm going to have to cut it short early because I have to go do some things. But thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, hype, subscribe, share, and please do go and watch my Britney Spears video. It is a masterpiece, and I'll see y'all soon. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation, neither are opinions. Everybody's innocent and should be presumed as such until proven guilty. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.